Hello everyone and welcome to the recap of week number 2 for the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership. In our first match of the day, we had Vexed take on Epsilon, and Vexed were fired up from the start. We saw some great rotates from Feral, with Pi bagging numerous 3Ks and 4Ks to finish off Epsilon 7-3.
Fine with the SMG-11, another kill for the Smoke, and Vexed extend their lead.
In our second match of the day, we had Wind and Rain take on Unnamed. Wind and Rain were extremely close towards closing out the match at 6-2, but Unnamed managed to reset their mentality and claw their way back to tie the match 6-6. In our third game, we had Team Secret take on FlyLo. This was the David versus Goliath matchup, which we knew FlyLo would struggle with. FlyLo played a lot more methodical this time round, taking a couple rounds off Secret. Sadly, even though we saw improvement, it wasn't enough to topple the Titans, as Secret closed out the match 7-2.
On to Allison Tyler. Another one for him as well. 1 versus 4. Down to Joker. What can the Capitao do? Not a lie, he managed to find one but impactless kill.
In our final match of the day, we saw MnM Gaming take on Who Knows. MnM continued their path of destruction, dropping only 1 round, and Doki secured more 3Ks and 4Ks than I can count, finishing the match 7-1.
All he has to do is go for the peak, and he will find it. Doki coming up big once again for MnM.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership recap of week number 3. In our first match of the day, we had Vexed take on Unnamed. Unnamed knew they required a win to keep up with the rest of Group B. Both teams were neck and neck throughout the first half, but Unnamed showed a consistent defensive side towards the end of the match with a 7-4 win. Epsilon took on Wind and Rain in our second match, with Epsilon sitting comfortably with a 4-1 lead. Sadly, the match could not be continued due to a technical difficulty which gave Epsilon a final score of 7-1. Who Knows versus FlyLo was going to be our next match, but sadly due to another technical difficulty on the side of Who Knows, FlyLo took the default win 7-0. Our final match of the evening was between Team Secret and MnM Gaming. We've been anticipating this match since the beginning of the season. Team Secret took an early lead 3-0 to start things off, with MnM Gaming showing signs of life on the attacking side, changing the scoreline to 3-2. MnM Gaming struggled to hold things down in the second half, with Secret showing some great discipline, strategies and methodical play to end the match with a comfortable 7-3 victory over MnM Gaming.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Hello everyone and welcome to the preparation phase of the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership powered by Intel. Week number 4 and we're past the halfway phase of the group stages. I am Lethal and I'm joined by 2 people which I'm sure you know already. It is Demo and today we've got Destitute. Guys, how is things?
You first.
Me first?
Ladies first.
I thought it's the older generation should go first.
Okay, I guess we should. Yeah, it's going well, mate. Glad to be back, actually, as well. Been a while since Prem. I think me and you back in, when was it, September last time round?
Must have been, what, week 4, I think.
It's been a lot of time since we slung some shade at each other, so it's going to be a good day, I'm sure.
Yeah, it definitely will, especially with you 2 on board anyway. But we do have last week's results to see exactly what happened in those matches if you weren't here before. Of course, in that first match, you see Unnamed managed to take on Vex and win that 7-4. The second and third matches were forfeited due to a technical difficulty. But in the last match, we had Secret beat MnM 7-3. That was not only the match to watch, but that was the match throughout the season we're going to see. And we will see again in the last week. But we do have Group A standings from what we see so far. And Team Secret, of course, first time in the entire process, we see him in first place. MnM in second. FlyLo now in third with a decent round difference. And who knows, even at the bottom of the table, they've got a lot of clawing up to do. And now for Group B, it was a bit of a mess before, still is now, but Epsilon have taken the lead by 2 points, sitting in first place. Unnamed and Wind and Rain will be in second and third. Only 2 round difference between the two teams, and we see Vexed bottom of the table, but still plenty of time for them to make a comeback. So what do you two think of the group so far in terms of standings?
I think it's what we kind of expected going into it right way back whenever we seen the groups fully released. Group A was a bit of a given. We're expecting MnM and Secret to really top that group. It's just a matter of who's actually going to place first, because both those teams in their own right are titans of this league. Secret had that upper hand last week. Quite a convincing win as well, 7-3, you have to give credit. And then Group B, that really, you don't know where that's going to go. It can either go either way, and especially with, you know, the new format we're bringing in. To think that in Group B, one of those teams is going to go in relegations, that's a scary thought, because all those 4 teams are great in their own way.
It's not just that as well, you've got to consider that for War and Vexed as well, they're both sat in 3rd and 4th right now. They play each other tonight. Whoever wins that game, assuming there is a win and it's not a tie, they take 2nd place as well, and that puts you into a really good spot coming into those final 2 weeks. Yeah,
it's become quite unpredictable. We knew it from the start a little bit, but not to this point. But we do have the top plays from last week for you all to see.
Could have just held the doorway here in yellow stairs and been okay, and that's exactly what Zach did, and then he's rewarded with a kill for free and a second as he aggressively peeks up into Tank Ninjas. Zach now can hear that flame wall go down. He did lose his crosshairs to the EMP, and as a result can't quite finish this Thatcher off, but does a lot more damage than Snooken does. Meath gets the first kill to answer any of them as the plant starts to go down, but the aggressive peek comes out from Zach, and he easily cleans up the 2 men outside the garage door.
That should be valuable information for his teammates. However, if they can find themselves a way in, it's even the ping out at the moment. He's trying to find the shot, but not quite going to be able to. Tank Ninja's going to be surviving. There's 2 players right outside by service stairs. Quick reload. Going to be avoiding the flash. There's good 1. There's another thrown down the floor. He's going to pick up another 3K here from Tank Ninjas. And it is only Jesus left. Open angles there, yeah, but they keep saving for around, but Shermie does catch Vex's head, and there was just a pixel just traveling right, and Shermie still manages to chase it down. The potential error seems to be gone. Shermie holding close is going to run out. Going to surprise Hayes with that one. Absolutely was expected. And another onto Harris, phenomenally done from Shermie. Oh, that was awesome from him. And blackout there, I mean, he did just black out because he saw nothing going on. Taken down by Shermie once again. Brilliantly done by him.
MeeP will trade Citizen out on the other side at the same point, but it's still now 2v3. Now Lems takes a quick fight towards the door, and Doki doesn't actually go down from that, but he's very low. MeeP will trade out Nello, but Doki got inside and will trade Lems down before the impact nade from MeeP puts him out. 1v1 now. MeeP knows exactly where Kendrew is, but Kendrew, remember, has to plant. He's inside. Oh, the pre-fire. MeeP strafes it across Kendrew's head, and by the skin on his teeth, manages to get Secret a 4-2 half.
And that was the top plays, and as you can see from the results, MeeP's 4K was the one who actually won the top plays from last week. Is there any too many surprises with that play, in all fairness?
Nah.
I think it's quite a surprise this entire season. We've seen a lot of 4Ks and a lot of 3Ks, a lot of clutches. You know, there has been a lot of those situations where we've just seen someone just pop off. I wouldn't say as consistent as what we've seen in the past, but still, it seems to be everybody's having their day.
What I really like is that it does feel over the seasons we've seen kind of the general quality of play increase, but you've seen more shining stars appear as well. I mean, you're looking
I remember
on this board
first season it used to be just me and you looking at 2Ks.
Yeah, basically that, and now it's just like players like 4Ks, mate, don't worry, put them in a back pocket all day long, it's no problem.
Yeah, I think even after the first week there was a couple of aces on board, and Doki's been in it almost every week apart from this one, but not really too many surprises seeing MeeP's 4K.
It's here, this last little shot as well. Demo said watch out for it, and I was there like, oh, it's just a cheeky little peek around as well on the straight headshot, bam! Nothing to be done about that one as well. You're no way you get the trade back before he gets that shot off.
That's because of Maestro camera.
That just shows how good he is in that situation.
The power of intel.
Yeah. This is it. This is it. And it wasn't against FlyLo or who knows this time round, because that's where we saw the couple of aces and 4Ks in the first couple of weeks of those top plays as well. But if you do want to vote in for this week's top players, will actually be coming up. You just go to Twitter at ESL UK and you can vote in the polls for the top players for this week, and you'll see them next week to see who actually wins it all. So apart from the top players and what we've seen, like you said before, it was nice to actually see in that secret MnM match. It was a great play by him. It was numerous plays you can point out, but that one was the big factor, the main one in all fairness. Now, we're going to have a schedule for today to see exactly what matches will be played for tonight. And the first match will be FlyLo versus MnM. Second one will be Who Knows versus Team Secret. The third one, and the match to watch, Wind and Rain versus Vexed. And our last match of the evening, that sadly will be defaulted, but we'll talk about that later on, is Epsilon versus Unnamed. And would you agree that with Wind and Rain and Vexed, that is the match to watch?
It's pretty much the belter, and guys, no offense, right? But the other two games, I'm pretty sure everyone can put money on, you know, which of those teams that you're seeing on the other side you'd be putting money on. Looking at MnM and Secret there is the two big teams coming into this that, again, being top 2 spots in their group, are probably going to take those games. So it does mean that third one is probably going to be closest. Last time round was by no means a stomp to either side as well. It was a really good match. So this time around, again, why wouldn't you get the same result?
And our first match of the evening will be MnM Gaming versus FlyLo. Now, what do I say about this match? Now, last time round, MnM stomped them 7-0. There was no chances. I think it was on Coastline now, I believe. And there was nothing they could have done. We're trying to figure out ways on what they can do. But, you know, it's just one of those things. What do FlyLo not only even try and topple MnM, but even just take some rounds on the board?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think that just the caliber that MnM are sitting at, you know, they're flying high. They have so much confidence. Sure, they got beat by Secret. We know they're still going to probably qualify for LAN no matter what. It's kind of a given at this stage. If we don't see them, that will be the big upset of the season, 100%. But MnM, they have a lot of things they're working on. You know, they're scrimming regularly because they do have their Challenge League qualifiers on Monday as well to see if they do make it into then just below Pro League, which is a massive thing for any team, especially with the way that the Siege esports scene is really moving to. And I think Prem is more of a bit of a stomping ground for them. And I think it's more to prove themselves that, yeah, we can run with the big dogs, especially going up against Secret.
It's exactly what it is. I mean, you look on Twitter for any of the players, they've been looking for scrims for the last, like, every single day for the last 2 weeks. They've been saying, looking for scrim, looking for scrim, looking for scrim. They're taking this super serious. Again, the spot they're in with CL, they really want to get there. So it's getting to the point now where, yes, they're going to stomp on most teams they come up against. Secret's still that big boss at the top. They can't quite crack, but they will get there.
Level 100 boss.
They carry on.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you know, with MnM Gaming, it was a little bit of a wake-up call. Okay, it was a best of one, is on Villa, fair dues, but they kind of know now what to work on, not just on that map in particular, but their play styles and what they need to change up. But we do have the MnM roster for you guys at home to see exactly who will be playing tonight. Demo, if you can take me through the players for me.
Well, it is pretty standard of what we're seeing. We know that Kendry was added to the roster last week after he did leave his former team Pact. And he's also brought a friend with him. He's actually brought Saves. A lot of you guys might not know from UK scene who Saves is. He's a Polish player, and he used to play on the Challenger League Pact along with Kendry. And that guy, he's a very good player as well. I've seen a lot of his stuff. He was at DreamHack Winter as well. You know, they've also played against the likes of teams such as Lestream, and I believe G2 as well. They've played at them against DreamHack Winter. There's a big fish in the room. We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
It's not our place to talk about that.
Okay.
But I'm sure people probably know by now, but we're not going to say anything.
The big one in all this as well, I think you have to think about, is that over the last couple of weeks from MnM, they've had a few roster changes where, for example, at recent LAN, they were playing with Gig, their coach on side as well. This roster you're seeing now is probably going to be the one that you see moving forwards for the most part as well. This is the team for them to really strive for that CL spot with, and I'm really excited to see this first iteration of what is going to be their squad going forwards.
Yeah, it's been roster mania for the last few weeks. But with FlyLo, their roster, Des, if you want to take us through these guys for me.
Yeah, Joker, one of the old names, back from Season 1 back in the day, same with Tristan there joining him on side. We've got, I'm not even going to try and say the second name, I won't lie to you, I always get it wrong. Sassy and Joshua Glitch with us as well.
Just Quicks.
Yeah, just Quicks is probably an easy one to go for.
But Quicks are
I did see Quicks and Ricketti, and I was like, if I try and say that, I'm going to cock it up massively, so we'll avoid that one.
You just nailed it.
There you go, mate. When I don't think about it, I say it all right, but when someone puts me on the spot, that's when I'm in trouble.
Whenever you start thinking, that's dangerous.
But yeah, we've seen a few of these guys before. Again, Joker and Tristan, one of the ones that I remember quite a lot from last year too. It's the same thing we were speaking about earlier on, where you are coming up against a real powerhouse in MnM, so it's going to be a rough ride for a team that has only just put this roster together this week as well. welcome to Prem, boys.
Yeah, of course, welcome to Prem again. And with this roster, we spoke about it a bit before, it's one of those two sides of the coin. It's either going to be a nice little honeymoon period for them, they'll get a lot of rounds on the board, or maybe take the W. God forbid if that does even happen.
Could be the divorce.
Well, that's exactly right, even before the marriage even happens. But, you know, what can they do here? Like, you know, I spoke about it before, you know, it could be a honeymoon period or it could be something else. What do you feel like FlyLo needs to do as a team, as a unit, to even try and take some rounds or even a W against MnM?
Well, I think a big thing that they do have in their favour is that there's not a lot that MnM have to go off. MnM, they have a great coaching staff. They have Gig, they have Elegance, who do all of that stat work and help the team with the counter strats, standard coaching stuff. But for a team like FlyLo, whenever it's a very new team, there's no footage of them so far. That's a scary thing, because if we see FlyLo just play, just like the way they normally do in scrims or what have you, then that means MnM really have to go on the counter adapting phase, because hopefully FlyLo, they've seen a lot of stuff MnM have done.
Ultimately as well, it'd be about going comfortable, I think, as well. You know, map ban phase, not something we really talk about all too often, but I think it comes down to as well making sure they're playing where they're confident. MnM have got their own maps they're very strong on as well. A couple have been banned out previously against them. If it gets through today, one of those two maps, we'll mention it, because in that case, MnM are playing in their own court then. And it's literally like going from playing in like a high school football team and then getting into like college or university and being saying, welcome to the big league, boys. If you go play on their field, it's going to be real rough.
And speaking of maps, picks and bans, we do have it for you here. And Oregon's going to be the map pick. So what do you think of this map for these guys?
That's a 50-50. It always has really been. It's the map where anybody can really... No, I'm not going to say that. The map where good teams go to die.
You said it!
We're not on that. We're not on that phase.
You already said it once, but you can say it again.
but yeah, Oregon, it's all about the gun skill. Strat work, you don't really need to go that in-depth in strat work, which I does think kind of plays into FlyLo. It should be a map which I'm sure FlyLo have played a lot. It's one of those most popular maps for new teams starting out. You know, Oregon Border's really where you want to be in most cases. Looking at the bans, I'm quite surprised MnM banned Border, because that is a very strong map for them as well, but maybe they're trying to save it for later down the line, which is probably what we're going to expect. And then Coastline and Clubhouse, two of those maps which you really do not want to take MnM on. That's a good ban for FlyLo as well.
Absolutely. I won't lie, I'm slightly confused because there's Oregon on the left and Oregon on the right.
Production.
So I'm not sure which one's which. Production, please let us know which one's which. I'm really curious to know what.
Instead of Oregon, it's Villa.
Villa is one of the big ones for MnM, but I think in this case, again, played it last week, so taken away from them too. Next week, it's always that horrible kind of, you know, odd or even numbers as well on what week you get a team and which map they'll get from it as well. So maybe it's kind of a blessing in disguise for FlyLo that they're not going to be playing MnM on Villa. And Oregon, as you say, is kind of one of those more balanced maps where every team has played it a whole ton. It does come down to more raw gun skill. You are against a team that's got very good gun skill in the face if you're looking at FlyLo against MnM, but it's also the best time to really show up and surprise them, as Demo said earlier on.
That's right. Now, the only thing we can maybe say is the fact that one thing you actually pointed out yourself, Demo, was the fact that, you know, they could be saving their strategies. There's no reason why they should give anything away. They've pretty much almost made the playoff stage. It's almost a guarantee once this has been said and done and all dusted. But FlyLo, this is another opportunity for them to increase that round difference with who knows, just due to the fact that when they actually have a rematch, then that's when it will happen. But enough of talk, enough of that business anyway. The first match of the day will be MnM Gaming versus FlyLo with Demo and Dez as your casters.
Well, back again.
You know what the problem is? Because you're wearing glasses, you have to turn around then as the lights came down and just be like, well, Mr. Chu, I've been expecting you. That would have been perfect because you look like an evil villain. I can't decide if you belong in the Kingsman or you look like an evil villain.
I'm not wearing no turtlenecks like another caster.
You're not quite in Terra's Padawan. Not quite. But let's talk about bans then. Glass coming through first and foremost, followed up by Banner. Normally where we see a bit more variety, defenders always tend to be one of the same three picks that we seem to come across. Glass, no huge surprise, lots of long angles you can play down corridors you're looking towards here on Oregon. Echo going to be the first one going away on the defensive side. That comes across as no surprise at all. That Yoko drone even, it's either him or Maestro you're looking towards. One's invisible, one's not. Take your pick. One's quite hard to kill admittedly as well. The final ban coming through for FlyLo is going to be Mirror. No surprise there to see. That means Maestro is one of the power three that's gone through. Although Mirror now does make that, being banned away, does make that downstairs side at least a little bit weaker.
So touching on the point about the either Echo or Maestro, there's a part of me that I believe that Maestro is much stronger on this particular map because that basement, it's a lot harder to get rid of Maestro cameras because there's a lot of sneaky areas where you can place them up high, where they cannot be shot from the hatch by Sophia or by Ash. Echo drones are a lot more easier to deal with because you have an IQ. typically you'd have an IQ if you see Echo available. And really for the basement, it's very simple to get rid of Echo drones. You know, you can just walk down the stairs and look up top, simple plant from there. So I do question that we're going to see that Echo ban rather than the Maestro, but then maybe they have something up their sleeves and they want to take the Maestro over that.
It's the big side of it as well, is that for the IQ, like you kind of half mentioned there, is when you are upstairs, you're safe. You get out the scanner, you can actually look below your feet and know exactly where that drone's going to be when you push downstairs. And chances are, the Echo isn't going to not so much have the presence of mind there, but won't be looking to move that drone away. Of course, when it's not attached to the ceiling, it's not invisible. A lot more susceptible to being shot out as they do start to push down those stairs. But saying that, we will start off downstairs, despite there being no mirror available. The double intel setup, as I like to call it, coming out here with the Valkyrie and the Maestro on side. Otherwise, everything's looking pretty standard for FlyLo.
So we'll have a look at the setup. Typically, we're expecting a bit of a meet and hold, possibly into Attic if they're feeling a little bit risky. They have a nice little connector in towards that kitchen side and also holding the kids. I'm starting to worry because they're trying to hold, what's that, at least 60% of the map with only potentially 3 roamers. That's a big risk you're willing to take. And sure, you might have Sassy and Joker there playing together, one inside of kids and then one just lurking about that small dorms area, could maybe try and rotate in towards Master. But a big thing that they have to remember is all it takes is one player holding down the crossfire to eliminate any potential flanks. This is a big risk you take on a map like Oregon, where if you want to try and roam heavy, you better make sure you have a damn good idea if you do get countered. And really looking at MnM, I'd imagine back push is probably on the table, which it will be. They've seen, oh, they're just giving us an Attic, and they're going to start working that side. And
it's not even just that as well. For MnM, it's kind of the expectation that that's what they would come out the door with, because now they're bringing not just the lifelines on the Zofia, but also got the Jackal Citizen bringing that one out as well. That just says, I don't care how many roamers you've got, you can have a team of 5 if you want, we are going to hunt you down, and we're going to take that point away from you. So MnM coming out with a smart set of picks here to try and deal with this. Slow start to the round as you always expect. That first round, all about the intel go, although Doki finds one. There we go, that's one of the roamers already down. Doki picking off the Jaeger.
So they have decided to take control of Attic, and this is where they have to come in and try and hunt these roamers down. You only have Sassy left, who's still in towards that dorms main hall, and also Valkyrie, who we did see lurking about upstairs, still has that Nitro cell, which could come in pretty big. Tristan has been down. That's him trying to play aggressive, trying to see if he can get something back onto the board for his team, but will be shut down. There's a Valkyrie camera still inside of main lobby. Hopefully that should be taken out, or else we may see a potential flank coming in from Sassy as he will start his approach. The big thing that MnM now need to do is take their time. They have a minute 20. They don't need to rush. Siev's a great pick onto the Valkyrie, and that will be the C4 down. Sassy comes in with the roam. Bad flank coverage from MnM, but the diffuser will be planted.
Already gone away with that one as well. It's going down. Sassy finds a second though. Doki being picked up there after a fantastic start to the round. But Kendro will get that down. He doesn't have to rush, but MnM saying we want to make our mark here as well. Go nice and aggressive, get some early kills, get ourselves on the point and send FlyLo that message that we mean business. Sassy still lurking upstairs and giving them hassle, but when they're on point here, the retake not so easy as it looks. Citizen going to pop out and clean down quicks as well. They'll even find the second onto Sassy, and MnM with a very dominant first round. Sassy at the very least showing that FlyLo have got some fight in them.
So what I was expecting to happen, MnM see the potential of a quick rush in towards the back. You know, if you're seeing that potential kid Storms hold in towards the Attic, at most you're expecting 3 roamers, because that's what it does take to try and hold that 60% of the map like we've talked about. So great adaptation from MnM. They see the potential. They know that they can simply just trade off the frags. They're going up against a Smoke who only has a very small magazine inside of that SMG-11. They took the trades, they played it well, and as soon as you control that laundry room and that towards that basement, it's as if the defenders then just become the attackers, and we've seen how troublesome it can be for attackers to attack the bomb site. So what it's like in the shoes in the other foot in that circumstance. But yeah, great adaptation from MnM. I think that FlyLo just tried too hard inside of that round. They're not playing simple, which is what I'm quite scared that they're trying to play a little bit more aggressive, over the top.
That's the big one for me, is at the very start, the first pick we saw, what was it? It was at that window, Joker peeking through and Doki just spraying down and getting the kill. It was almost, not so much not playing simple, but almost a lack of respect for MnM and the drone game they had going on there, because Doki knew exactly where he was, at what time. Same story came out with the Maestro as well. You saw him trying to peek up the stairs, immediately droned out. Doki goes down and gets a second kill. It's more just about trying to hold these angles, I think, more than anything else, rather than trying to play so aggressive in the open, because that's where MnM will succeed and punish you for it.
10 seconds to go.
So as we move in, we will see a bit of a similar setup. You can see they're making a lot of shotgun holes. That does lead to believe that they may try and hold towards that kitchen side to nice access to any soft destruction. We've seen Box go in towards kitchen, really rip open the entirety of that B bomb site and try and get rid of any anchors. It plays in very well if your team is trying to adapt and into a kid's bedroom attack, which has become quite common of late. I would have liked to see Capital. If MnM were going to try and attempt that push, we know how strong he can be, and whenever we see those buffs come in, Oregon's going to be a real playground for Capital. We've seen that the size of those Asphyxiating bolts just get bigger and bigger. That's going to really shut down a lot of these key anchor positions that potential defenders want to try and play in.
Speaking about Terror being a villain, that's when Capital's going to stand there and just be like, watch the whole map burn! The whole thing set on fire. There you go. We'll get him an eye patch, that's no problem. Kendry finds the first gun to Tristan already, though. MnM going with exactly the same lineup as last time in the same entry as well, taking tower, pushing in from there. That's the real question for me is now as to whether or not FlyLo go for the same sort of thing, try and play quite aggressively like before and just try and hold them in and bout with an extended hold. It's always a big risk because already they've lost 2 members and their only fragger from last round, Sassy, has already been dropped just a minute into the rounds.
They're losing their picks way too early. Once again, Tristan, Maestro, you're an anchor operator. Why are you trying to go for these quick, aggressive picks? Sure, you want to try and catch MnM by surprise, but they're a very capable team. We will see the next engagement come in the favor of Doki once again, and it's half the round, and Kendry is starting to plant the diffuser. Joker's still locked out of sight in towards the kitchen. He will have to do a 1 versus 5 clutch. I don't see this going anywhere else apart from an MnM win. Tries to push up in towards the white, seen a glimpse of a player, but the angle's being held by everybody, and saves on the R4C will rip apart Joker, and MnM, once again, an easy round for them.
Someone needs to tell MnM Games Done Quick was about a month ago now. It's long past its Dubai date. It's done, it's over with, but they're making these rounds quicker and quicker as they go by. First round, there was a plant after 2. That round just then, it was down at 1.5 minutes. Can they get down to a minute? That's the big question here for me, Temo. Not that it matters so much, because you said it yourself. Downstairs in that corridor with Alice and Tyler going for the counter frag across, just didn't really come to them. You're not winning these initial peak fights, so I'm thinking in this case, again, all right, you've tried 2 rounds. Let's peel back a little bit, play more defensively, hold those angles, and wait for MnM to come to you, rather than trying to play so aggressive.
Do FlyLo not realize that MnM are a team of gunners? Did
Apparently
they not realize this? Have they not seen saves? Maybe they haven't seen saves play.
This is the whole like Dave versus Goliath thing though, right? Because if you bring down the Goliath of MnM and you win someone in like a 1 versus 1 gunner fight, you're like, oh, this guy can bring down Doki. That's a nice claim to have. The problem is you've got to do that 5 times in a round, and against a team like MnM, again, not the easiest task.
No, by means that FlyLo were not out of this just yet. It's only 2 rounds in. They have plenty of time to try and claw this back. I'm quite interested to see how they will adapt this time. MnM, they completely tore apart. They got those early picks. I think that is down to FlyLo being aggressive with these just no-need nonsense picks. You know, Tristan he has the echo, trying to get an early kill on the board. If you're eliminating operators like Saves, like Doku, who do bring a bit of utility, because they're the only 2 operators that can get rid of those Maestro cameras in this situation. Once again, they're going to have those roaming presence downstairs in towards the kitchen. But you've seen Doki just walk straight in towards lobby and won the gunfights as simple as that. If you want to try and hold kitchen, bring the castle. It's available. You decide to shut down that kitchen doorway that leads in towards lobby. That's a sightline that Doki doesn't have. And if he wants to try and open it, sure, he wastes utility, and then you know exactly what side he's pushing on. You can try and rotate somebody in towards the armory to deal with him and try and catch him by surprise. Got an update for you guys, it seems to be, but...
I've got an update for you. MnM are rocking it. That's what you're going to say. They're going for the same 3rd point push again. They're going back into tower, then they'll go onwards from there. It just feels like there's no need to really do anything else, because every single time they're going in here, they're not being threatened. They're still finding kills on their push in. What more do you need?
So it does seem to be a little bit more setback for FlyLo. We've seen 2 people dead at this stage inside of the last round. And they have left that half open. So my thought plan is that Tristan from above may try and shotgun a quick rotation hole for Joker to try and jump on in and try and catch these people by surprise. But he will have to come in confrontation with his own challenges. Doki will start to drone, and as we can see, it will be Citizen ready to try and pounce on anybody who may be unsuspecting of his presence. You still have Quicksir on the white stairs. He can try and provide cover, and actually a very strong position for him because it gives the intel to Sassy. And Sassy here, he's a real lich pin. he can make or break this round. He can try and bring back these, these 2 kills if he needs to. However, we'll see the first blood for a change go in favor of FlyLo as Alison Tyler on the Bandit will find saves, and Doki will have to try and pick up the slack.
They did exactly what we said there, which is playing a bit safe and not trying to push those risky angles. And MnM were almost looking for them. You saw the drones coming through into kitchen, but did they try and push an angle? No, they sat back and waited, and Allison is rewarded again, second time round now. Bit of patience going a long way, bringing down Doki as the second kill. Minute and 13 left. This is going to turn into one of the longer rounds that we've seen so far between these two teams in this game. Again, for FlyLo, it's kind of a case of patience, and it's now starting to pay off for them. Nelo's going to peek and get that one down onto Joker, though, whipping off a few shots, even with that GUI mine in its butt. Sassy's going to find out Citizen, leaving only Kendrew and Nelo remaining here. The Demo brothers, you might say, with the Thatcher and the Thermite, although one's already low in this case as well. Nelo down to 25. It's in a 2 versus 4. If anyone can pinch it out, it's going to be these guys. But FlyLo have played this one in such a controlled fashion and surprised MnM at the right times that they now find themselves in the lead.
Nelo still trying to hunt for any kills he can. He will see the glimpse of the Legion, but will not be in a safe position. And even the goo mine goes off, and that will alert his presence to, once again, that white stairs. Quick swift will eliminate him. And then Bandit with a clean shot. A nice triple kill, I believe, from Bandit that round. And, well, certainly sets FlyLo up for their first defensive win.
Much better and much cleaner as well. Took a bit of time to take a couple of rounds of saying, let's try and play aggressive, let's try and play the way that we used to. And the third time around, they were like, guys, we can't keep on playing like this. We've got to change things around, and that change worked wonders. I thought for a second maybe they'd try and set something up around tower itself to get some cheeky peeks, but they said, nope, nothing crazy this game. Don't try and do anything surprising to MnM. Let's just sit and play the safe game that we know how to play. It worked wonders.
There's a part of me that wonders why they're not trying to approach those kids' bedrooms area. You should look at their lineup and say, oh, they don't really play any Valkyries, they don't play Pulse, we don't really have to worry about intel from below and getting C4 as soon as we try and swing in. I would like to see them try and adapt their strategies to that set position, because I still think Cage is a very strong play to go for, especially whenever you know there is a lot of roamers downstairs in kitchen. All it takes is one player to hold inside of dining, and that entire defensive strategy that they try and revolve around killing you with the floorboards from below and try and get C4s, it goes out the window at that stage, and then as soon as that goes out the window, you swing in the window and then you plant the bomb from there.
It's always the dream, and it's always kind of the strategy in your mind, and then obviously the situation changes per round, members get picked off, things don't go quite as planned. Like the old famous saying goes, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face, and well, FlyLo have been punched in the face several times so far. But they're learning, they're back on their feet again, so things aren't going too badly. MnM acknowledging themselves that they are starting to adapt a bit here, and FlyLo are changing things up. Going to bring the Dokkaebi here and drop out the Thatcher altogether. Give them a bit more chance to give some more disruption, you might say. Real roamer hunter team, this one. 3 of them now, perfectly capable of dealing with those on the go.
So I am liking that FlyLo are trying to bring the action straight away to the players of MnM. They have decided to take things a little bit more slowly. Last time we seen the extension into kids, they know that could completely torn apart, because a simple adaptation from MnM is the realization of, oh wait, they only have 2 players on site, let's 5-man push the back and win the round that way. So they have decided to take it a little bit more slower, a little bit more safer. It does mean that MnM have to work a lot harder to find these kills and try and clear away in towards Attic and in towards the meeting room. But at the same time, whenever you give attackers a free range on Oregon to try and set up this laundry attack where you start pushing down, they bring the Dokkaebi specifically for this reason, because you have those smoke canisters as well, along with Jackal. There's a lot of smoke canister saves with the quick aggression, eliminates the Bandit.
He's alright.
And that will be the end of Alison Tyler. Good refrag, however, from Sassy. And once again, that goo mine coming in big. And Joker with the crossfire will find Citizen. However, another kill comes out. Tristan aggressive on the main stairs. I'm surprised that the hatch hasn't been opened by Kendry. That should be the first thing he has to do.
That was the trade they won out last time round. Literally on those stairs when Doki managed to get the first shot down onto Tristan and bring him down. That was what really set FlyLo up to fall in round 1. But this time round, it's a bit more panicked. MnM start losing members. There's less drone work on the go. They're not being allowed to play the game they want to, which is taking things slowly and methodically. FlyLo, in a really strange twist of fate, nothing I really expected to see, are actually forcing MnM to have to play this a bit more erratically. That's exactly the kind of thing you want to do there. If you're against a team that is prepped, has got those coaches we mentioned about as well, the analysts putting all the work in behind the scenes, what's the best way to surprise them? Turn it into a raw gunfight. Take it to Oregon, play aggressive, and do what they're doing right now.
There is still potential that we could see MnM win this round, but they will have to come in pretty big with some kills, and that will be a start for Kendrew. However, Tristan's there for the refrag. It's down to Nello. Minute to go. 1 versus 3. Oh, great shot on. The Joker takes his head off and also will find the Maestro into a 1 versus 1. This is easily clutchable from Nello as Sassy's nowhere near the bomb site. Decides to drop in towards the hatch. No, goes for the fake. However, the diffuser will be successfully planted. Nello versus Sassy, and Nello gets it. What a clutch from Nello, and that will put FlyLo with a sour taste in their mouth.
After how the start of that round went as well, finding themselves 4 kills, ending in a 3 versus 1, you did feel like that was the round that would bring them back to 2-2, but all the work being done by Nello there, showing himself as a real valuable member on this team. And to be fair to him, one of the names that doesn't get mentioned enough, normally when you're speaking about MnM, you are thinking about players like Doki. Normally the guy that gets the mention on the nod when we speak about them with how aggressive he plays. Citizen as well, big player at times with 2 new players on the side. Nello, trusty old Nello, topping the leaderboard and bringing a round back for them.
He is that main anchor. He is that core support player, and well, whenever it's left to support, you can see what damage they can do. All because he plays operators like Thatcher, like Dokkaebi, like Smoke. Doesn't mean the guy can't shoot. That's
Absolutely.
a very big misconception for a lot of people, I think, especially in the community. Oh, look, you're a Thermite main. You even seen Kendrick pick up a kill with a 5.56. It's still a great gun. It's just that he has to drone because there is players there who prefer that quick, aggressive role, like Doki, like Saves, like Citizen, we've all mentioned, and that's what makes a team.
Absolutely, and it worked so well for them in the first couple of rounds, and they were almost tested there in that last round to bring it to 2-2. But just about showing that that raw gun skill does still count for something. 3-1 now. FlyLo still not opting to change anything up. They're bringing the Bandit this time around instead of the Valkyrie, so every now and then they do change out 1 or 2, but nothing huge. Sassy, I gotta say, has been pretty big on this Legion so far as well. He's been across all 4 rounds so far, the guy in the team I thought, that has sat back and waited to find his opportunity. He hasn't gone pushing and looking for kills, he's just waited for MnM to slip up and then has pounced.
So this is going to be their 3rd time defending Laundry. They have lost it in the past 2 times they tried to defend this. The only round that they have won is on that kid's defense, and because of the ejective rotation parameter where you have to go for another 2 bomb sites before you can go back to the original one you did win, they will be forced into, once again, this bomb site. Joker, aggressive on the tower, and
I like
this will be the first aggression coming in. Doki finds Joker, and it seems to be the same case. FlyLo just reverted back to what they did the 1st and 2nd round, and that's tried to play aggressive.
I don't mind it because in the last 2 rounds they have, you know, bar that crazy end into the last round when Nello almost won it out as well. And again, look at Allison playing so aggressive, expecting it, but no one going to peek out. I think with that round there, I was thinking, well, the last 2 rounds we have played aggressive, we have played our game and it's worked for us. They keep pushing tower. Let's go and stick 1 man in tower and see what happens. Problem is they weren't respecting that every single man of MnM goes to tower. If you go into 1 versus 4 or 1 versus 5, guess what? You're probably not going to walk away alive.
If you're going to try and play tower, just fully commit. Bring the deployable shield, put the ADSs up top.
Take more, yeah.
Try and potentially play, just like we've seen Bandit, aggressive on that dining, tries to kill anybody going for these repels on those top windows. If you know that MnM attack this one way, adapt. Put things in there that makes life a lot more difficult for MnM. You've just gave them free range.
That's going to end up turning out to be round 6 now, I bet you. Final round they'll go to when it comes around to the defensive side. That's what they'll opt to go for. Tristan finds a kill onto Doki downstairs, though. Now Saves doing the responsible thing, not being an Ash player and just charging through, breaking down everything you can see in sight. He's going to get some drones in there as well to help his team out. That's why they've always thrived as a team, and I think that's one thing they've got to really stick to here is playing sensibly, remembering the game plan when you came into this as well. Saves walking straight over a GUI mine though, got to loop about 20 health off the back of that one as well. Kendrick just burning out those ADS as well. They now have that scope to start looking in, going for a construction site push again, not unlike what they did back in round 1.
So Save's aggressive here with that breaching round, can try and play aggressive, gets rid of the barbed wire. That's great for the Ash main in this scenario. Nello with that DMR does put away another player. Say still there, you can see him, he's hunting for the kills. What can he do on his ESL Premiership debut? Flashbangs go in, and well, they're holding strong. Citizen will make the first play, rushes on in with the C7E and saves another one for him. On to Quick's a double for him. And just like we expected, that first blood opportunity going in favor of MnM seems to be that one thing that lets FlyLo down every round.
It's interesting seeing how for FlyLo in those couple of rounds where they actually did have a good time was a lot of team play coming through, a lot of coordination on both sides. We saw MnM do exactly the same thing there, pushing in as 3 and finding themselves in a good spot to get those final 2 frags to close out the round. Very quick and clinical and into the round. They're now in a 4-1 situation.
So looking at it, we have seen 5 defenses play so far. We still have 1 more to go. And for the most part, we have seen 2 kids and Free Laundry. Those Free Laundry have all been defeated by MnM. That's something that you don't want going into your split, because typically Laundry, it's a very easy bomb site to defend. You have a lot of things as defenders going for you. You have Maestro cameras, you have smokes, you have the Legions, you have a lot of things there that really does make quite a pain for the players of MnM to deal with. I just think that the aggression that they're trying to bring isn't working. It's MnM, we know they can frag.
It's tough because in that 3rd round, they did have a bit of aggression that paid off for them. Once they found that 1st and 2nd kill, you saw Allison pop off and get 2 kills back to back onto 2 big members of MnM, and it was like, well, suddenly.
That was the kids, though.
Yeah, they were just rolling through off the back of that, and I was like, where's this newfound confidence come from? You're winning these gunfights. That's what they wanted to do back in round 1 and 2. Just couldn't quite make it work out for them, and it has started to warm up. You've seen them kind of come into it, but MnM in that 5th round have just turned around and been like, guys, again, remember the plan. Don't play their game. We're playing our own game here as well. Play more structured, and it worked wonders when they went for that downstairs push.
And what's the big thing that we talked about, that in Oregon, what do you need to do?
Win gunfights.
What are they not doing?
Not winning gunfights.
They're not winning gunfights. That's what Oregon's all about. If you win your 1v1s, you set yourself at such an incredible feat, because for defenders, you're always going to have that advantage, because like we've touched upon, the utility that they provide is just too strong. So MnM, they have decided to play in towards that tower, I believe every round except for one of their kids push. And just talking about that particular way that they are playing, there's a lot of things that FlyLo could do to really upset that. Have those aggressive runouts that we did see Bandit try and attempt. Didn't really have the cojones to go for it, which I'm quite surprised he didn't go for that. But try and play people aggressive in towards kids. You have double windows there that does overlook in towards the tower, and like we've touched upon, having that deployable shield and putting utility with the Jaeger in towards that tier 3 of that tower, it provides so much time-wasting potential, and maybe MnM are not going to be ready for that. We see that the only one that they do bring is going to be Sophia, who is going to be the one that's very strong to deal with that particular hold.
Yep.
They're not bringing Capital. They're not even bringing nades, which is another big thing you have to keep in mind. There's things that certainly FlyLo could do, but they're not doing it.
The one thing they did try and do, and you mentioned the run out there with the Bandit as well, biggest problem was that, is when they tried to go for that, you had Citizen pushing another door. So it's like, well, you want to try and run out, but there's a player from MnM stood there literally staring at the doorway like, I dare you to walk out that door. You wouldn't even dare, because you know full well chances are he's going to be there, your head's in the sights, down you go, you will not get a chance to get the run out. So it's almost like the intent is there, but MnM do have some of their kind of, they do have some things covered off. Sassy's caught them out the most so far, it feels like, and that's been quite impressive. Allison in that couple round where they got 2 kills as well. Not too bad as well, warming up onto that one. You've got to start seeing the other players step up now as well to really bring the fight back to MnM. We spoke so much in previous seasons about different weeks having 1 or 2 players that really pop off for the team. This week, you need every single man on FlyLo to really step up and show to MnM, we are here to fight. We brought you to Oregon for a gunfight, and we're going to show you what we're made of.
It is a big fight for them, because you have to remember that FlyLo, they're still at the mercy of potential relegation battles. And even if they do manage to finish 3rd place, they'd have to go against the 2nd of Group B, and all those 4 teams are very strong as well. So they really need a bit of confidence, a bit of morale, something that shows the other teams in Group B, if they make that 3rd place, that, yeah, we're not a team you can roll over. Yes. We can put up a bit of a fight. And this is MnM. This isn't even the toughest team they face still. They have to go against Team Secret next week as well.
Enjoy, guys. That's what I'm saying.
They need to really put on a show. Sure, maybe it's a bit of the first map jitters that they may have, but at this stage, you're week 4 in. You cannot. You need to adapt at this stage.
And they know full well as well. I mean, MnM probably in this situation know that if they win this week, yes, mathematically they are not 100% guaranteed to make it into playoffs, I don't think. But you're pretty much certain for yourself that you're not going to lose both of those next 2 games that you come to play. God damn it, guys, just stay connected. Come on, man. UK internet, that's all I'm saying.
I blame the Observer.
I blame the Observer as well, because guess what? He chose the wrong map. That's how you do it. That's how you observe Rainbow Six.
We're currently looking for new observers. If you'd like to go ahead and enter in, please DM me, by all means.
At ESL UK, yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Just write in, guys. There's a poll on there. You can also get in there and get a new obs.
You don't even need experience. You'd probably still be better.
You at least know what map to pick. That's the key one, right? That's kind of the key requisite. Before you can even observe a game, you've got to pick the right map.
Yeah, I think that...
we love you, Alex, really. I'm joking. Don't worry.
You know, we'll give him a bit of time. We'll give him a bit of time. He's been here for so long. And he still hasn't got it right. It's like,
you know, in the break he's going to turn around because he's like 10 times bigger than all of us. He'll turn around and be like, I'm going to bury you.
I think he's feeling a bit like FlyLo, where he just can't adapt. No?
Can't adapt to what? Picking a map?
Yeah.
All right.
This isn't the first time he's done this. You have to keep this in mind.
But Demo, I want to unwrap this encyclopedia in your brain. What do FlyLo need to change outside of winning gunfights to bring this back against MnM?
Well, first of all, they're going to have to go on the attack. They're going to have to go on the offensive.
But they tried that for 2 rounds and died.
No, whenever they do go on the attack rounds, because we only have 1 more defense, and then we have that halftime split. So looking at the attacks, more than likely MnM are going to have that very strong roam presence. We typically see that triple threat of having Doki Citizen. Was Funkers, I'm sure in this circumstance it will be saved in this circumstance.
He's playing a lot of Ash.
I love the kind of chemistry that they have, or well, that they did have. We'll have to see if Saves can have that same roaming capability with the other 2. But really, you're expecting Doki and Saves to have that, first of all, upfront aggression as a roamer. And I love the way that they play Citizen. Citizen as that kind of deep roamer, that kind of deep late flank. He'll lurk inside of Laundry with potentially like a Pulse or a Valkyrie, which gives good intel. You know, he's not doing much. You can sit there, scan, gain a bit of intel, try and relay that information. But then whenever it comes to those final 1 minute to 30 seconds, crawls under his rock, crawls back out of his rock, and tries to go for those Nitrocell kills, which is very big. I'm kind of expecting that similar playstyle to be implemented here. I know that was probably going to happen. But do FlyLo know that's what's going to happen? Because I've said this multiple times, the way they play Citizen in that very deep flank role, if they have studied and have looked at, oh yeah, they do this every time, they should have no problem.
Absolutely. I mean, even on the attack as well, we mentioned it earlier on with Citizen, you are seeing him play just slightly away from the team. Not enough that he's outside of view range that they can still cover each other. He's there as almost insurance that the rest of the team can do their job. More of a policeman, you might say, guiding his team into victory and making sure they're safe and say, no disorder here, guys. Or making sure that no one's going to get a dodgy run out or anything like that as well and bring them down. So they do have the bases covered. Like you say, I think I'm also most interested to see what happens when we switch over and how FlyLo choose to play that attack. Equally, how MnM choose to play the defense, whether they choose to play aggressive and play with roamers quite far out, or if they do choose to play quite safe and just try and punish mistakes that FlyLo will make.
So of course you have to remember that FlyLo, on their attacks, you know, they have plenty of operators still there available. We've seen Blitz was also let through the banning phase. We
saw Monty almost get picked. He got 6 picks away.
Monty's another big one. Dokkaebi as well, which we have seen, is another operator that we know is available here inside of Oregon. There's a lot of those big pressure operators that really do swing things inside of your favor. I wouldn't be surprised if we see operators like that being chosen. Would love to see a Blitz, I think, especially with the aggression that Oregon really does fit into. And whenever we know that MnM are going to roam, that's going to be great dealing with Doki, who typically kind of plays Jaeger, maybe even Saves plays a bit of Jaeger. Those are the operators that just cannot deal with the Blitz. I would have loved to see, possibly from MnM, like a Montagne push that we did see. It's great for Laundry.
They almost did it.
They almost did it. But then Dokkaebi as well, another great operator, also provides smokes, has that universal effect.
I mean, you saw exactly how Nello did when they had that on side as well. That was the round with the big cleanup as well, the double phones going off. Just provide enough distraction. Maestro was too busy trying to turn it off, sending off a snapshot or something of him crouched down in the corner. God knows. But either way, it was a nice big cleanup. So, this time round, they are going to switch things up quite literally and play somewhat into MnM's favour by going towards Watchtower. Interesting.
Okay.
It probably big focus on the word int there, or maybe revise that statement in about 3 minutes' time.
I like that they're going to try and change things up. This may be, okay guys, we're staring down the barrel. Let's try and change things up. Let's try and catch MnM by surprise. MnM, I'm sure, have probably faced these types of holes. Probably not inside a Premiership, and this is not what they're expecting by no means least, because like we said, FlyLo, we have no information in how they play Oregon. We have none of their strategies. We did see a bit of a glimpse of them, you know, how they played their roam presence especially. But for their rear stage in Big Tower, we have seen nothing at all. So I'm curious to see how they will play it. You really have to try and control the tier 3. Tier 3 is going to be that big thing. We've seen MnM like to pressure that whenever they are attacking those basements and even the kids' dorms. They love going Big Tower. But this time they will have a lot more presence. No Valkyrie, which I'm quite surprised by. They should know MnM never bring an IQ. They don't bring that operator. Valkyrie cameras are great for Oregon, especially for this bomb site where there's a lot of windows.
No cheeky outside cameras that they can just lob out as well, or yeet it outside, as you might say.
He can C4s that.
I mean, let's not forget as well, just in that break we were speaking about and saying, what if FlyLo got to change? You know, they've got to commit to playing in tower. I don't think you can commit much more than actually bringing the bomb sites with you and putting them inside the tower too.
So I'm liking the Doc. I think Doc's a great pick because you do have that ACOG. You can try and rotate, challenge those windows from longer lines of sight. This is a very dangerous position for Untitled to play in from, especially if he doesn't have an ACOG. He could easily get banked here, but no, he will try and land the first shots. Citizen down to such low HP, but will not be finished off by the Bandit. And well, Toki's waiting for him there on the white stairs, and already FlyLo, their attackers came crashing down, or their defense came crashing down, and this does leave it inside of a 5 versus 3.
Drones coming in as well. You can even see Doki just watching for that rotation from Allison, also waiting for another as well. But Sassy, once again, every single time he's lurking around this main hallway, always catching them out, and now he's inside meeting itself. But the problem is, yes, you're managing to pick off Doki, but what about the point? That's getting put down by Kendrew now into a set space where it's 4 versus 2 to MnM. They have full control of tower. Even Tristan gets picked down now as a 4 versus 1. This tower play has completely shot FlyLo in the foot. They've almost given this away to MnM for free here, as Doki will be the only pick they get around. Citizen bringing up Sassy. They'll end the attacking half 5-1, and FlyLo have got it all to do.
Comes back. They're trying to aggress far too hard. As you can see once again, MnM have read that. They say, oh look, there's 3 people off site. Nobody's holding tier 3. Nobody's holding tier 2. Nobody's holding tier 2, which is an objective bomb. Nobody's inside of Attic because Sassy decides to go off and do his own thing as a doc. I'm questioning everything that FlyLo tried to do with that defense. That was not strong at all.
I get the idea of trying to play Allison and going from that range, but
yeah,
you said it yourself. Send your doc. Bring the ACOG to go and go for angles like that. Yes, okay, maybe a couple more shots and Citizen would have gone down. He was down to about 23 HP playing on the Jackal. And then you saw Sassy. Now, Sassy, again, a player that I've watched a lot during this, and you can see him in the spot. You don't see him now in this spot. He's probably at about 6 or 7 kills across the whole round so far. He's been in a spot where he has been netting quite a few kills from that main hallway. He caught Doki out there, as you saw. That's not a bad thing. I don't think in FlyLo's position you complain so much if you're trading out someone like Doki for someone like Sassy. Maybe as a top fragger, maybe you do want to keep him alive. He's been doing work there. But outside of that, the Maestro and Allison, not sure what the exact intent was with them playing off point itself. Except for trying to get Citizen down from across 3/4 of the map, which didn't work. Unlucky, I guess.
So that does lead us into our halftime switch, where then we will have FlyLo on these attacks and MnM on the defense. Like we're expecting, more likely going to see the roam game. They're bringing the mute, which I think is a great operator, especially for this particular bomb site. You can try and mute trick in towards that hatch, which is going to be that big thing that more than likely we're going to see FlyLo try and play towards. And they will also try and hold the kids, so again, more aggression. More than likely, we're going to see Doki and Saves really play tight, a lot more tighter and closer than what we've seen from FlyLo, where you've seen, I believe it was Sassy, and it was also Joker inside of this kids. And look at that, paired right beside each other. They have the mute jammers, which is the biggest thing to keep in mind, because that will delay those drones just so much more. FlyLo, they're going to have to start trying to work already. Joker down a bit of low HP, and well, look at that. Sassy from below with that buck will try and get things working. As Doki as well on low HP, and Citizen, like I said, that lurking roamer picks up 2 onto Joker and onto Sassy. However, the quick refrag from Sophia will eliminate the Jaeger. Still trying to find one more. It will be that mutant save, just gets caught off. That's a 50-50. He's tried to win. It will be the 6th.
Oh, beautiful!
A triple from the Sophia. And that upstairs attack has came in so big for Allison Tyler.
It's exactly the kind of thing they wanted to do, as well as go for those kind of fights. And what I liked, they didn't commit too many men trying to jump through the window there. They said, Allison, go and do your job. And picking up 3 members of MnM as well. And let's not forget, a team that we said would be playing aggressive, likely trying to push off point, go for those extended holds. They've just been really hard punished by 1 member of the enemy team. Possibly the worst case scenario they could have hoped for the start of this round. There's still 1 minute and 40 to play with for FlyLo.
So minute 30 to go. We will see that hatch being opened. They have those Thatchers to counter those mute jammers. Again, even if, you know, for a potential Thatcher ban that we have seen before, especially in Oregon, there's still operators there like Maverick who can do similar. Aggressive from Kendrew. That's a massive pick, because this does put it into much more of a winnable position.
You say aggressive. It was in the spot where he just hadn't probably checked the hatch by the looks of it as well, and got himself super hard punished for it. And I was like, well, you've looked one side, you haven't looked anywhere around the floor next to you, you've just gone for a run straight over to get down the stairs. You're completely ignoring the threat that might come in from other angles, and while Kendrew was like, thank you very much, that looks like pretty much a free kill for me, and was more than happy to take it off his hands.
So it will be left in the hands of Quicks and also Allison Tyler. He has dropped the hatch, trying to take the fight. Again, he could be on for a potential ace. He's already had 3. Can he find the other 2? No. Kendrew will put that to bed, and a double from Kendrew. Triple kill for him this round, and that comes in big. And it leaves MnM inside a match point.
Big rounds from both Kendrew and Allison. They're both picking up a 3K overall as well. Definitely the kind of performance you want from those boys to try and turn it back either one way or the other. At least initially it started going out in FlyLo's way when MnM pushed so hard in towards that upstairs. We said the 3 being up there as well got hard punished by FlyLo on the attack. But let's see now what they can do about this. Into match point for MnM here. All they've got to do is win this round, and one more performance like that from someone like Kendrew and it's theirs for the taking. Doki going to run across onto the Pulse as well. Heading upstairs, so he'll likely be holding downstairs. Imagine you'll see exactly the same sort of setup as last time, where you see Doki, Citizen, and Kendrew all playing off by themselves somewhere, and you'll probably have Saves and Nello playing much safer towards point. And look at that 6-pick coming in as well. Joker onto the Monty. A lot stronger it feels when you're playing it downstairs. Going upstairs, a bit riskier.
I question why, yes, they bring the Montagna, which I think is fine, especially for this. You can try and walk straight through that single doorway in the corridor. You can actually try and plant behind Montagna at that position as well. People might not know that is a plant location that we have seen pulled off very quickly, but then there is C4s and smoke canisters, what have you, that really does deny that. But I question that they switched out the Capitale for it. I would have liked to see both. If you're going to go for it, bring the support, bring more smokes. You have the Montagna, who can just stand there and provide information for your Capitale to smoke off or fire out off specific positions. It's a strong duo together as well, so I do question why they've went for that. MnM, they've brought the C4s, they've realized, yes, this is a very destructible flooring, so they will play, I imagine, Doki lurking down below, potentially in kitchen or even further below inside of laundry, and then of course you're going to see Citizen play that late rotate game, try and get those frags like we've seen him do last time, and we will see that Junkyard push coming in from the players of FlyLo. So using the Junkyard, it does provide a lot more of a soothing clearance role. You don't have to worry about going in through lobby and worrying about somebody in garage inside of meeting. It's very one way that you push in towards the west. There's 3 players stacked up for MnM as they will try and take the fight and try and delay this as much as they can. And Doki is in great position because he can provide information if he rotates in towards bathroom to anybody inside of that corridor.
Another rotation spot, and as we said at the start as well, all 3 members, or not all 3, the 3 members that we called out to be roaming together doing exactly that, all holding down in that corridor as well, and as soon as they got droned out, this is what FlyLo didn't do last time around. They didn't move when they realized they might be punished. The intel was still fresh, it was still pretty up to date on where they were. For MnM, as soon as they realized they've been discovered, they all rotate away and immediately leave, so they are able to always leave FlyLo guessing and stay 1 step ahead of them.
Doki and Kendrew supporting each other, and quite interestingly, Kendrew, typically he plays more of that Maestro role, but instead will be taking up this fragging position. Doki with a double before Sassy does refrag him out. The Montagna's still alive, so it gives them a bit of hope. Citizen playing those tools from above. Surely Joker has to know. That's a very common thing that teams have done a lot, is having these specific areas opened up. Nade being tossed out as well. Kendrew is starting to panic a little bit, but he's safe enough inside of bathroom. So if you're FlyLo in this scenario, you just need to drone. You need to find out where this last defender is. Sure, you know that they're still playing upstairs with all these holes. You're a Montagna. You don't really have to worry about those too much, especially if you can position yourself correctly. Tristan will rotate up towards double window because he's realized, okay, it's going to be a minute, and we have no pits on the bomb site.
Really tough because every single door they've tried to push through, there's always been at least 2 members of MnM sat there watching and waiting. They've thrown utility around to try and clear it out. Hasn't paid off for them, and now it's Joker left with just 1 more on side. A 4 versus 2. Now into the final one. The Monty is the last man standing. It becomes a Monty hunt, boys. It's not going to work out for them. Kendrew cleans that one up, and MnM in dominating form take the win against FlyLo.
Yeah, no surprise, MnM, they had, again, that big free that we talk about so much. It was actually Kendrew this time, playing as part of that big free. Quite surprising that we would see Citizen not play in that position, but instead it is Kendrew there. But hey, if it works, it works.
It pays off, and it paid off big time because he was getting frags as well. What better place to put your fragger in a case where you can actually go and play aggressive and make use of that gun skill?
Sure, Kendrew is the more hard support. We've seen him playing Thermite. You have to forget, this guy was one of the best bucks we've seen last season in CL. This guy can frag.
Big time. And she showed up and done that right now. That's exactly what you want, so it's still promising signs for MnM. Not quite the 7-0 clean sweep I think they would have liked. No. But there was a couple of good rounds from FlyLo in there as well, which is promising signs for both sides when they've had big changes to their rosters.
I think that the one round that FlyLo did win, it's just down to that early aggression, early picks. I think that Alison Tyler was a big standout player for FlyLo. You can see him, he really wore his heart on his sleeve in that scenario. He took every gunfight he could. I think he was still very unfortunate not to finish off Citizen whenever he did try and go for that quick aggressive kill inside of small dorms onto the player over towards big.
Taking a selfie, what was he doing? Just don't get it.
Doesn't make too much sense, but...
To be fair, next patch, they don't have to worry about those Dokkaebi calls that much anymore.
Yeah, 18 seconds, you can just sit down and just wait and hold the angle.
Just a mute jammer does it as well, which is, I think, going to be crucial for a map like Oregon.
I mean, he's already crazy, like, versatile in what he can bring with the C4s, the shotgun. Everything about him is just really strong at the minute. That change itself is going to make him even more effective.
And I think that a lot of teams do ban Dokkaebi a lot. I think they kind of see that, oh yes, it's a universal factor. We've seen what a universal gadget such as Lion can really do. We've seen the same from Dokkaebi, that's why she has been banned out a couple of times. Not as big as other operators like Glaz, like Blitz as well, Ying. You know, the big standout ones, but certainly Dokkaebi, whenever that patch does come in, I can certainly see her ban rate dropping down quite a bit, and even her pick rate as well.
Makes things nice and spicy though, keeps things mixed up and guessing a little bit as well. And that's what I love about Siege. There's always just an opportunity where you change one thing about it and suddenly everything can turn in its head.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely saw that, and well, we saw the same scoreline really almost. There's only one round difference, but I think Who Knows can be happy a little bit about is the fact that MnM did actually dominate them, and there's a slight chance they even make it to the playoffs, but it's going to be very, very difficult at this stage. But nothing new, almost the same situation, different map, but I think the rounds were much, much cleaner this time round in comparison to when we actually last saw them play each other. So at least we know the last few weeks, we've seen a lot more cleaner rounds, a lot cleaner matches, and from MnM, it's not really too much of a surprise. Their work is, you could say, getting paid off so far.
Definitely.
But if you do want to get involved in any of our Rainbow Six Siege Community Cups for any teams in the UK, you've got esl.im/R6S UK. So make sure you get involved in that to win yourself some awesome bits and pieces. But what I was going to say was as well, we have a ticket shout out for the offline finals to see all there for the offline finals, which will be occurring on March the 30th. But they will be available on Friday at 9 AM. But if you go over to esl.im/R6S finals, and you can get your tickets there. And trust me, it is an event you do not want to miss. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Well, I would if I didn't miss the last two.
That's true.
For me,
I'm jealous though. I was super salty I didn't get to go, but then we'll tell you how amazing they were anyway.
For me especially, UK LAN events do hold a big part for me. You know, this is where I started, was UK Prem. Sure, I've been to bigger LANs as well, and the way that really, you know, that we here at ESL have really set up these LAN finals. It is something you don't want to miss. And take this from me personally, who's been to Studio One, very much smaller venue. There's only 50 people. If you did have a chance at attending one of the two finals, you know it's a little bit cramped. This one, by no means least, is going to be cramped. So make sure you do buy your tickets. It's in a different venue, maybe a lot more comfortable for people up north, as I believe you English people like.
Because they sell chips and gravy.
That is true.
A lot more comfier, trust me. The nice thing about it as well, I think, is that this is just a start as well. Is that Rainbow Six, like I think anyone who disagrees would be blind, is that it is growing phenomenally right now as well. And this will just be the first of many when it comes to LANs. Why not start with this one as well? Get yourself a taste of what it's actually like going down. It's going to be sick.
That's right, and it'll be at the Manchester Bowlers Exhibition Centre, so make sure you try and get those tickets, and you don't want to miss out. They went quite quick last time round, and it's not really too much of a surprise if it does this time as well. So make sure you guys get involved and see what we can do from there. And like you mentioned before, you know, it's the whole UK LAN situation. You know, it is getting bigger as it goes on, the season through season, you know, especially from this on the Xbox season,
look at
the
PC
players. And looking at it now,
look
and
at
the players as well.
That's all you need to know.
No, exactly. Well, you're not saying it's a popularity contest, but no, he is right.
Look at the talent. Look at the talent we have.
Well,
not this
I've always been here. I've always been here. This is just, you know.
Yeah. We've got Lethal on the show now. What more could you want from life?
Also, what I was going to ask as well is that if you want to hashtag ESL Prem and tell us exactly what you think of Demo and his glasses, does he look spectacular or the opposite of the word spectacular? I've sort of looked for the top of my head.
Spectacular, I dig it.
Thank you,
I think he looks like. I think I said it earlier on. Seriously, can you just sit there and just look kind of like you're a secret agent for 2 seconds?
I'm not the Kingsman.
You look like you're sitting on Kingsman. This is a big compliment, mate. I'm telling you, like a secret agent.
I'll wear my glasses.
I would love that.
A little bit better.
Yeah, I would love to have Kingsman glasses.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much on the way there. I need to get myself a pair now as well, so I fit in with the crew. Because when you've got your glasses on,
you need reading glasses.
Admittedly, you are the flexible factor here because you take them off and suddenly Demo's the loner in the middle. But he's in the middle, so he gets cuddles, so it's okay.
It's just one of those things. But so just before we go to our break, the second match we will have will be Secret versus Who Knows. Just a little quick roundup on what you think and kind of predictions and what to expect.
Secret 7-1, 7-2, 7-0.
So you basically just assume it's going to be the same as
it's going to be another stump. Let's be real here.
Okay, well,
it's going to be tough.
Just a thought I'd ask there just to see if there was anything different, but no, I'm not really too surprised. It gives me a straight answer. It's kind of what I expected as well.
They have Plebma playing. Of course they're going to do good. Plebma.
That's true. Of course. Right, so we're going to go into our break for our next match soon, but we'll see you shortly.
Eliminates the format, and the distance is shot. Oh, there we go. Finally stays. Once again, that man on the smoke. Pretty quick stays. Guess what? Can he be finished off? Yes, he can. And Team Secret will be your ESL Rainbow Six Premiership champions.
and welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership powered by Intel. And we do have our second match on the cards today, which will be Team Secret versus Who Knows. Now, I tried to get a little bit of intel, well not intel, bit of detail about what they think of the this next coming match. Demo gave me about a 5-second answer, which is great, but let's hope for like more of a 60-second answer this time. What do you think on not just the outcome, but how this will play through?
Well, we're expecting it's Group A. Secret, MnM are the obvious choices to go to LAN. But for FlyLo and Who Knows, it's all about the relegation battle. Since we do have that new relegation format where if you do fall in that bottom spot of your group, you will have to fight against the guys coming up through the Community Cups as well. Great addition, by the way. I think it really does pride teams instead of what we've usually done it for the seasons is if you do not finish top 4, you have to qualify again, which is that's a big shame for a lot of teams where you have to go through that very demanding qualifiers. We've seen that time and time again where qualifiers, it's more about the fatigue battle that you have to worry about. You know, you're playing up to potentially 5 best of ones in a day. There's a lot of matches you really have to do for, and I think for Who Knows, what they need to do is just try and close the gap in terms of rounds. We're not expecting Who Knows to beat Secret. If they do, well, congrats, I suppose. But for the most part, I think if they can try and narrow it to potentially a 7-4, 7-5 at a push, then they're really working.
It's a huge round difference as well. And Des, I want your opinion on this as well. Now, we know that FlyLo, it wasn't looking too good for them until that default win before, you know, and Who Knows at that 4-21 round difference, it's devastating to say the least. Would you even say now that it's not really about round difference? They may actually have to take on MnM or Secret to get the win now, to even make it to playoffs.
That's the big problem. We spoke about it at the start. It's the group of death when you're against these two big teams. Thank you very much, Demo. It keeps on happening.
He loves doing it. I don't know.
He looks
does it every week.
It's his one thing, right? And he's really proud of it, so I'll let him have that one. I deliberately did that just so he knew. But either way, like they're in the group of death, right? You're against MnM, you're against Secret. Coming into Prem, I think anyone would have been a bit crazy to say they aren't the two teams you expect to make it out of that. So like you say, round difference, it's always going to be a bit of a battle. You've actually got to beat these teams, I think, if you're going to have any chance of actually taking the spot off either of them.
Yeah, if it went because of last week's match, it would have been round score. They would be sweating, even if they knew there's a good chance they were going to lose, do everything they can to scrape just whatever they can get. So when they have that rematch and maybe Who Knows wins instead, that would have been a completely different storyline, different spectacle as a whole. But now, it's going to be very, very difficult. But we do have 3 rosters for you for this next match. Who Knows? Demo, tell us about them.
So, Who Knows? We will have Quicks playing again. Is that correct?
No.
I don't think it should
He's on 2 teams, why not?
Yeah.
Call him a sub.
We talked about the fatigue. We have to play 5 best ones. He wants to try and test his fatigue as well, going again. But yeah, you can see no thumbs. You have Neif, you have Ace, and also a return. We're seeing Prox come back. You may know him from being one of the founding members of that MnM team who didn't qualify last season, along with Nello and Frau and me, and I believe it's Unknown Hobbit as well. So he does go back quite a bit. And he has decided to join Who Knows. So he's back inside the Premiership, and possibly he may be that candle in the dark for Who Knows.
I hope so. They need to make a serious impact in this match or in the next 2 weeks, or else they will be going down into that relegation spot. And now Des, Team Secret, the giant we all know and love, and the favourites in this Premiership. Tell me a little bit about them.
What more is there to say about this team? In fact, a nice fun fact for you. I think pretty much all of them have got over 10,000 followers on Twitter. That tells you how good they are at Rainbow Six, right? Social media following equates to skill or something like that. But Meepy was the guy who walked away with the player of the game last week. You saw his sick little flick headshot as well coming through on Villa. Plemmer's on side as well. This team, what more can you say about them? Again, real huge team. Big expectations for them today and for the rest of the tournament. It's a real scorcher of a game against MnM last week. But to be honest with you, Team Secret, I think, who probably even at this stage, many people are saying they expect to go on and win the whole thing.
Yeah, any one of these players can have a huge amount of fragging ability. With Plemmer, we've only seen a little bit of him over the last couple of weeks. So I think in the next 2 weeks, when he's moulded in this team and he's adjusted to their play style and all that bits and pieces, then we will see a lot more from this guy. But every single one of them are so talented and such individually skilled in so many different situations and scenarios in each of these maps. You can't really not call them favourites, especially in this match coming up.
It's almost like they're a pro team.
It is. It's weird, that, isn't it?
Almost. Yeah. incredible.
A pro team who is not looking too good. You have to also keep that in mind.
Pro team, so you come against some of the teams that you're playing against in Prem, you'll take it, eh?
Yeah, Plebma for 5th. That's hashtag Plebma for 5th. Get trending. But I think Secret have a different 5th one.
I think they do, but Plebma, I'd like to really see him do something. You know, we didn't really see too much of him last week, but this week. But don't get me wrong, he was doing quite well anyway. So.
I think he got one kill last time, and whenever he did play against MnM.
I was trying to say that.
You don't need to get kills whenever you have Leon doing Leon things.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? If you're amongst a bunch of stars, how do you shine brighter than them? They're already all absolutely incredible players, so it is a big, you know, step up to come up to. They saw a couple of rounds in the replays back of week 2, I think it was, where he was getting a couple of kills off the back of that as well.
Yeah, first week he did good, yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, it's like we said earlier on, some weeks players pop off, some weeks they don't. And it's all about trying to make sure you've got at least 2 or 3 players each week doing the big work for you.
And it's like you mentioned, with these kind of players on this team, it's very difficult to, you know, be that shining star in comparison to the rest of them, just due to the fact that with Plebma, he still needs a bit of time to mould into this team. It's like with any new team you're with, you know. But the other 4, they're already gelled, they're already satisfied with how they are as a team and what they get up to and all that bits and pieces for a long time now. But with Plebma, it's going to take a little bit of time. But the main thing is, he's come in at a reasonable good time where he can now adjust, ready for the offline finals if they do qualify, which I'm sure they will, nonetheless. And looking at the map picks and bans here, it looks like Coastline will be the map choice in this match. Demo, what are you thinking?
I question why they've took them the Coastline. I really do. I think that Coastline is in certainly the caliber of Team Secret where they like to play, especially in those attacking rounds. They are very deadly. I think it's a real map where Meatbee specifically shines bright whenever he does have a chance to go on that buck. Quite surprised also Secret did ban Oregon. Again, you also have to remember that currently inside the Pro League, they did lose Oregon quite heavily to Mocket, so maybe that has thrown them off playing Oregon again. But certainly Coastline, yes, it is one of their strong maps, and we will actually see who knows on the defense as well. This is a big topic, I think, about Coastline, is that looking at statistics, it is technically the most balanced map in terms of attackers and defenders winning.
48.17%.
It's very, very slim. It's very slim. But from my experience, I have seen defense, especially this past month of the whole invitational season, Coastline defense has been so strong, which I think is something that you really have to keep in mind. And I just think every map has just seen defense-sided so much more than what we previously have.
I think it shows that for a lot of teams, they're still kind of developing in terms of how they're playing this one out. But I think that ban of banning away Borden and Oregon was just to say, look, let's take away from the kind of safe maps and go towards something a bit more uncomfortable for them, I suppose you might say.
Well, we'll see what happens in this match. We do have the bans of Operate phase going in now with Team Secret versus Who Knows with your casters, Demo and Des.
Well, that's the first ban. No big surprises. I'll say it's kind of a surprise for Coastline. Don't see it banned away all too often on this map. Ying going to follow through. One of those operators that I think we see sometimes banned away. More in maps like Clubhouse, you see it banned away semi-regularly. Bit of a surprise coming through on Coastline again. So 2 picks there that, although not uncommon in themselves, maybe are slightly uncommon when it comes to Coastline, mirror banned away. And I think anyone's not really going to have to work too hard to guess what the next bans are going to be coming through here, Demo.
It's going to be either Echo or Maestro. More than likely, it's going to be the Echo drones.
Valk, maybe?
No, I think Echo's going to be the safer bet.
Go.
Valkyrie, sure. She has some nice spots, but for the most part, whenever there is bomb sites, especially in towards the bottom floor, where you have that kitchen and also that blue barn sunrise, Valkyrie cameras not really that useful, especially for kitchen. I don't really see Valkyrie cameras. You know, there's no like shining Valkyrie camera that you can say, oh yeah, that's a really good one compared to other maps that you would have, like Consulate, for example, another map where Valkyrie really does shine in her own right, and that's why we do see that particular operator get banned as well.
Sometimes see it for the big yeets outside as well, getting the camera on runes, getting it outside on the tarp sometimes teams tend to aim for, although obviously in this case, not so much the case. It's more a defense that you see outside of Sunrise itself or more out of Hookah rather than looking anywhere else. So it's kind of niche, I suppose you might say. Might see it pop up in a bit.
Hey, Plebman.secret as well. Plebman.secret, he's made it official.
Oh, there you go. The boy is
I'm happy for him, I really am.
You could say it's no longer a secret.
Protect your bombs from being defused
but it's still
by
a secret. That
not a secret.
everybody knows about the secret, but we can't say about the secret.
The secret that's not quite a secret, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely bonkers, man.
It is.
So let's move into our first defense, and we will have our kitchen coming up first. This is going to be, I think, the more roamer-heavy particular bomb site, because If you look up top, there is so much destructibility. You look at all those wooden floors that you have. That's a real delight for operators like the Sledge that we see Stiz playing, and even Leon and Plebman can do work with their cluster charges respectively as well.
5 seconds to go.
So the main pressure that Who Knows are going to have to apply is more than likely going to be Nath on that Jaeger trying to play in towards those back stairs. But looking at it, they've decided to completely forfeit that top floor. There's no presence. Sometimes we do see teams try and hold in towards that theater specifically. Vigil's a very strong operator. You could also bring denies that drone presence that's so vital. For example, we've seen it, of course, in that invitational final where we've seen Coastline go to 12-10. There was a moment where Joystick was playing Vigil and he was just hiding in a corner, and Pengu just completely droned right past him. Vigil's a very deadly operator for Coastline, and I would like to see some of that being brought out today.
Leon's got to be aware as well that there's going to be someone lurking around these stairs, and he would be correct. It is Nathan on the Jaeger, just sat there waiting to see if anyone dares push into that front door. He knows someone's there, but already Notham's going down, but Nathan immediately trading that one back out as well onto Leon. Well, even one more going down as well. Stiz being picked up here by Axia, and that's exactly what you want to start this round out if you are on the side of Who Knows. He's made this a very tough affair, and he knows immediately he might get shut out here. It feels like this more like they've actually entered in from this southwest side of the building rather than trying to push in elsewhere. And they're being held up pretty far away from the point altogether.
Yeah, it does look a very bad start for Secret. There's still potential. You still have players like Alems and Meepy, and even Pleb. You know, there's still fraggers there. It's different if it was like a 1 versus 5, for example, and you're leaving it down to a player like Plebman, where it really is up against the wall for him. You can see the aggressive coming out, trying to play once again Ghost there on the Valkyrie, however, does get eliminated from Meepy, pushing down in towards the blue. They know that there's at least still more roamers lurking about inside of the Sunrise. It will be the Legion. Hopefully there's good Mine placements that does deny the pressure coming in from Meepy, and Ace will get fully blinded. However, he is going to be still just chilling in the back. Nobody's really going to aggress onto him. A kill for Nathan on to the Twitch, and Legion still being a nuisance for Secret.
No big surprises there, exactly like Sassy in the last match. It's all about the Legion being absolutely chaotic. And speaking about chaotic, even Secret in this first round are now down in terms of total HP. They're into a 2 versus 2 into the final minute for this as well. They are, of course, the ones on attack. They have got hold of this Phoenix area. They can try and get the plant down here as well. Looks like it's going to be theirs pretty much as well. Service entrance almost being the one for them, but no, gets shot out at the last second. Nathan with a perfectly timely entry. Now he's got to try and deal with the final one. They get it through. And well, who knew this was going to happen? Who knows? Take the first round away from Secret.
So I think Secret attempted to, let's have a go. Let's try and break down this Sunrise blue bar hold coming in from the players of Who Knows. Whenever they could have just went up top and just went the easier route. They're giving you free range of that entire VIP lounge and in towards that penthouse as well. I do question why they just didn't go for the simple play. And it's the right play. You have that sledgehammer. You can open up all these vertical control. We've talked about so much how Coastline provides. There are specific areas that you can see smoke players or maestros lurking in that you want to try and get rid of. And that sets you up quite nicely for a potential supply room push as well. So there is options there that Secret should have went for. But I think they kind of felt, you know what, let's try and kill them and let's kind of, I think, test the waters for the most part.
It was really confusing considering, like we clocked at the round start, that the entire top floor had nothing on it. No reinforcements had gone up there, no gadget work, VIP completely exposed, could have opened the whole floor up, like you say, with that sledge. The only person we saw playing upstairs was Nathan. He was playing on the stairs, trying to prevent Leon from just charging in through the front door, which he did, to be fair. He got a trade off as well. That's where we saw the first kill come across, was him getting the kill onto Leon and then immediately traded back on the other side as well. With no thumbs, I think it was. So between the two, I don't know, like you say, a scrappy start, and maybe it was just Secret testing the waters and understanding how are Who Knows playing today, how are they feeling, how's their gun skill looking, and so far, looking pretty good.
So they will have the blue bar and, or not the blue bar, the hookah lounge, and in towards that pool table, and there is options here for Who Knows that they could play. They have decided to primarily bring this Valkyrie so far. So what I'm expecting is they're going to play Ghost as either as an aggressive player roaming about the top floor trying to bash those windows and trying to go for these quick runouts, or they play him below with a C4. C4's a lot more reliable. You have that capability of denying the plant in towards that late game, and also, if you are looking downstairs, it's another thing that Secret have to go ahead and push. They have to go and take their time and utility to actually hunt that Valkyrie because they know how important a C4 from below can be. That's the way that Secret play on their defense, is aggressive from below with C4s. But we do head into our 2 minutes 15, and just like we did expect, he will try and take downstairs because they do know the Valkyrie is being picked. And also from below, you can see Pledman open up these specific angles to get rid of specific anchor locations. I'm loving this because typically we see a smoke player in behind that B-bomb, and that completely nullifies that position.
What I really like, actually, is also a smart play by Who Knows, is that they completely forced that downstairs. They didn't even bother to reinforce the wall that normally protects the smoke from down the long hallway being sprayed at. Normally it's where you'll see something like a Maestro cam getting deployed there as well. But in that case, they were like, we know full well that Secret are going to take downstairs. We can't easily stop them. Just concede that angle that we normally put a smoke on altogether. I mentioned a few times there about being able to get it down onto the default plant on side as well. Just almost a smart acceptance from Who Knows that they won't be able to beat Secret in every kind of game, in every single element of the game here. So in some cases, said, you know what, just have that point altogether. We don't care.
Already, Secret are inside of the hookah lounge. They've seen, oh, it's free real estate. Let's walk in and plant the diffuser, and it will be completed. So this is where Who Knows have to pull everything out of the bag. Secret, all they have to do is hold back and hold the angles. Pledma here inside the Sunrise will find the Valkyrie. That's great cover. A double as well, a Claymore kill from him. There's still one more lurking from below. Does he hear the Jaeger? He doesn't see him, and Nathan will win that gunfight into a 2 versus 3, but the time has been delayed far too long. Prox inside a hookah. He could try and bait out the defuse, and the lens will shut down Nathan, but from this stage, all it's simply enough for Stiz to pick on round with the SMG-11. And Secret, they take their first round.
After such a solid first round from Who Knows as well, Team Secret just, they throw the book at them. They get the strategies out and they say, guys, you want to play Siege today? Well, maybe go and look at some CSGO instead, start shooting some bullets, because right now we're showing you how to play these strats. Nice question coming in there. Did Demo get his glasses free with a 3D movie? Where did you get them, mate?
Not going to answer that.
Why not? What did you go and see? Was it like Dinosaurs 3D or something at the IMAX?
Unbelievable.
You look like Austin Powers. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If Austin Powers and Kingsman had a child, it would be you. You actually look the part, mate. It's perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
Don't know how to respond to this.
Go on, mate. You've had a year of prep. You've had like 6 months without me.
I only got these glasses last week.
Who's your favourite Xbox player? Anyone who's not a Blackbeard main. Sorry, Rum. You're excluded from that list. I don't know, good question. Back in the day. Back in the day. There were a lot of good boys back in the day. I don't know, I can't pick one.
Been so long.
I remember the meltdown of the Rainbow 16 in the UK when the PC move came about.
No, that was needed. That was.
Oh, it was needed,
but
it was a painful. I didn't painful need.
No, I thought people that was quite a positive change.
People were. I remember at the time, the day it was announced, like Twitter went into meltdown. It's beautiful, and then everyone was like, you know what, PC's actually really good. And I was like, my friends, welcome to the.
If I'm not mistaken, 70% of people who played Prem are now on PC.
Yeah, and they're good as well, man.
So apart from some players of Vexed back then.
What can I say, mate? Some people are natural born gamers. I'm not one of them. That's why I sit on this side of the screen and talk about them being excellent gamers instead. Let's keep on doing that, because Secret are playing. They're excellent gamers too, as are the guys on Who Knows, as they showed. It's 1-on-1. Solid start for both sides, I'd say, although again, Secret in that last round, once they actually deployed the strats they've been saving, it actually looked super solid for them, and well, Who Knows just was struggling to react. The onus now is on them. They've shown that they can win some of these gunfights. They've now got to show that they can match the strats coming out of Secret as well, which is a very tall order when you're against one of the top pro teams.
So I'm liking the setup. They have brought that castle barricade, which does give Nathan a little bit more cover and adaptability. He can play a lot more loosely, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about those angles. However, Secret will start to pressure. They have plenty of ways of opening that up. That's a nice bulletproof camera that catches completely by surprise. I think the Lambs is just walking down, and then he's saying, oh, wait, there's a camera. I have to go away now. Ghost will find a Lambs from that great utility being fed. Really well played by Who Knows. It's a great bulletproof cam. It's kind of their third Maestro camera in this scenario, if you think about it. Pledman will start the drones in, and maybe will try and take the fight to the player inside a hookah. Ghost still alive, not out yet. The drop comes in, more shots rattle back and forth, and this is a bad position coming in from Ghost because he is pinched between two players of Secret. Stiz has lost a lot of HP though, which is what we have to keep in mind. Leon with a kill onto Ace as well. A quick flurry of kills come out, and Stiz may be looking for one more.
It's so painful when you can see the outline. You know, they are literally like a couple of pixels away from being able to see each other. That spray comes through. He might end up finding himself a nice cheeky pick here onto Stiz, who's currently sat on about 24 HP, but Nath finds another kill. Was one of the big fraggers in the first round. He's made it happen for them again. Grenade shall not rock any kills, although No Thumbs is down to about 12 HP downstairs in Sunrise. Makes it a very precarious position to be in. Quite a few low health bars flashing across the field so far. But who knows, once again, find themselves in a numbers advantage in a 3 versus 2.
Still a lot of work to do, however, for Secret. Meatbeat is still on full HP. You will also see Thumbs on very low HP, but equally so is Stiz. So a potential Toxic Babe could put him down for the meantime. Drones do come in. I think that's going to be for their flank watch, is one of them that we did see Meatbeat throw, and Stiz will start to drone out the majority of the site. So definitely it's going to have to be an A plant for the players of Secret. I think it's going to actually be Stiz who's going to try and sacrifice his life. If a gas caster does get him, so be it. Then it leaves a lot on to Meatbeat. But with 20 seconds to go, they have slowed things down just a little bit, which does give Who Knows a lot of time to prep.
Looking towards, I mean, they've gone through all those smoke canisters very quickly as well. Meatbeat finds Nade through the wall. We'll try just outside, back on Courtyard, even gets that pelt kill across. That means they're into a 2 versus 2. They've got this bar, they can go for the plant on as well. He's got hold of it. He's going for the kill, so I feel now's maybe the time to start getting the diffuser down. If they get this next kill, they can shut the whole thing down. But the spray comes through, and Meatbeat blind through the wall finds No Thumbs. Beautiful round for Team Secret. Although Who Knows definitely gave them a run for their money.
Big plays from Meatbeat, the team captain. That was great from him. Yo, that could have been very detrimental. We knew that it was either going to go one or two ways. He got the kill, or else Stiz had to go for the plant, and it would have been an easy cleanup from the players of Who Knows. So, yeah, Team Secret really bringing out of the bag. Meatbeat, massive, massive, massive from him. Last time, I believe that whenever we did see Secret last season on Coastline, which, you think about it, last season was not long ago. It was only, what, October, November, December?
Yeah, really not too long ago.
And he primarily did play a lot of Buck in this specific map. So he has changed roles just a little bit, and they've kind of sacrificed the Buck entirely. They've decided to prefer Stiz on the sledge, and it's a bit of a weird one, because Stiz, for me, is always the guy who plays that hard breach operator. He's the guy who plays Thermite Habana. You know, a great story as well. Whenever talking to Leon about the first time whenever Stiz wanted the trial for, back then, what was IDK, they asked him, oh, hello, Stiz, what operator would you like to play? And he says one word, Hibana. That's it. That's the only one word he gave him. That's all he wants to play.
You've seen that new skin, everyone wants it now. Hibana mains for life.
Are you a Hibana main?
I am.
Lethal's a Hibana main.
Gets banned away a lot, though. Sad boys.
For some maps, not really that big of an issue. We've seen it for Oregon.
You go to Oregon, yeah, you've always seen it.
Clubhouse as well, another big one.
Anything where there's three hatches that you need to open, generally banned away.
They need to bring Maverick.
Maverick's fantastic as well.
It's actually became one of my favorite operators currently. Really liked him. I think the M4 provides a great adaptability whenever you have that ACOG, can make those little cheeky holes, creates those really big long lines of sight. And Maverick still isn't as strong on particular maps. Like, you know, we don't see him at all for Coastline because he really doesn't do a whole lot. Maps like Clubhouse, we see him being banned there because he's just so strong in that particular map.
It's where there's real kind of duels to get open those big double walls that he really kind of comes into his own there, because you can't stop it. There is nothing you can do outside of just being
There's no Kaid, which is the big thing why he's so strong at the moment.
Well, I guess I die then.
That will change though,
maybe,
very shortly.
Absolutely, it'd be interesting to see the impact that has, but impact is the big thing that Who Knows need right now. And what I do like about Who Knows so far is when they do force aggression early and upset Team Secret, it does put a bit of a hole in there, a bit of a hole in the sails. They can't really get the win going the way that they did before. Last time round, it was on Meepy to bring out the big clutch and win it out for them. If they can keep on upsetting them that way and catch out these big fraggers from Team Secret, potentially in a spot actually where Who Knows can clutch away a few rounds.
Alams manages to find procs on his cameras. If there's one thing that you did not know about Siege, is an IQ with the scanner. Another one for him. Easy pickings for Alams. Getting back to, if you're an IQ, you have your scanner out, you can see an operator on their phone, on the cameras, and then you can easily wallbang him. Great by Alams. It's a very rare sighting we see that, but whenever it does, it's a bit of a ha ha ha, you got killed by an IQ on your phone. But Alams will start to keep working on. He has those breaching charges, which I love, because even if Stiz or Leon or Pleba dies, they still have an option to try and open up these vertical holes. And whenever we see the changes happening, great shot from Ace, puts down Alams, but has been down in the process. Great use of the Habana pellets coming in from Meaty. That's an easy double kill, more or less. Still steals that away for him, but Nathan will be stuck inside of a 1 versus 3. Down to Plebma, also managed to whip out the pistol, but just so close, yet so far, as the Meaty once again the clutch man for Team Secret pulls that round away from Who Knows.
Imagine if he'd turned around and got the double kill off that pistol play there as well. Whacked out his rifle again.
Very
close.
close.
The final one.
Very close. That would have been, I think, honestly, if that was the case, best clutch of the season so far. And that's saying a lot because we've seen a lot of those.
What this says to me, though, is we've got 4 rounds in, and that was the first round where I genuinely saw the expected result from this series. Secret winning in strategy, winning in gunplay, just flat out crushing Who Knows. That was the first round we've seen it, and a lot of that was just down to Secret having those angles covered off better. They knew where they were looking for the holes. Who Knows weren't really expecting it half the time and found themselves down 2 members incredibly quickly. If that hadn't have happened, well, that round could have been a very close one, similar to the last 3 rounds that we saw as well. Rip ACOG.
Defenders protect
It's
your
coming.
bombs from
It's coming.
There's a lot of changes coming.
Enjoy your Ash play, boys.
You know, you look at all those changes that really did happen.
I can't wait.
We're going to see a big shift in terms of the meta. And of course, on top of that, we also have Kaid and Nomad being available for play. And I know people have been questioning, yes, Invitational's over. Technically, we now move into our second half of Season 9 for the Pro League. Here at the ESL Premiership, we're not going to go ahead with the new operators until Pro League returns. I think that's the safer thing to do. Whatever Pro League does, we'll just follow suit.
Basically, so everyone can watch Pro League, see how to use them at their most broken way, and then copy it.
I think that's for me and you, more likely to kind of study.
Yeah, I'll be watching that, mate.
I don't know how Nomad's really going to fit into a roster. You think about it. What 5 from the attackers
what
are
do you
going to take away?
Yeah, that's my biggest worry.
You say the same for Gridlock as well, even with Mozzie. With all these new operators, who do you eliminate? You want to take a Sophia away?
The thing is with Gridlock as well, like, you just run, oh, she's got traps, shoot the traps, run away for 2 seconds, come back 10 seconds
And she's
later.
a 1 speed as well.
Hi.
She's a 1 speed, so that also nerfs her pretty hard.
I still can't believe, like, as well, that Maverick's a 3 speed. When I found out, I was like, what, really?
He's a fast boy.
He's a very fast boy. Faster burning down walls, faster running around the map as well, and faster killing people, as long as he's in the right hands. I'm not going to be those right hands. Doc has already gone down there for Who Knows, into a 5 versus 4. I did take a few tickles to the shoulder, just a reminder that there are indeed bullets flying his way sometimes, that he can't be the only one firing them out all the time. But again, it's all about these gunfights. Last time around, it was Team Secret finding 2 opening kills, not quite for free, but essentially for free. It was what really got them the huge advantage and snowballed them into victory there. And there's the second kill that we were speaking about. 5 versus 3 now. Secret in a great spot, it feels like. Ellen's almost getting gatted down on the runway as well. Just sets up beside blue bar here as well. It feels like a cross courtyard itself. But there's someone across. BP, stop it! Naughty boy. Get yourself inside.
At least he's not Cal.
He's not, you're right. That would be disgusting.
It is disgusting. But looking at the setup so far from Secret, they're taking things a lot more aggressive than what they've had before. They're going back to that first round that they tried with that kind of blue bar sunrise. This is what straight in through, and however will lose that gunfight against Nathan. 1 minute 30, but the damage has been done. They're already pretty much inside a kitchen, and I'm sure Diffuser will be planted momentarily. Ace isn't even in a position where he can try and stop the plant, as Alems has the cover from the blue bar. Nathan, however, will stop the plant. No cover from Meepy whatsoever, as he's inside the main lobby, and he also loses that as well. Nathan, such low HP. Alems, such low HP. 1 minute to go. This is going to be a long 1v1.
He knows exactly what's going on as well, and the thing is, Elms is in such a spot now where he's literally on the other side of a reinforced wall. All he's got to listen out for is that diffuser going down and go for the push off that. But he has very smartly rotated into a different corner to try and mix things up here as well. Nathan's not going to catch this going down, must not have heard it. Now he's got to go for a retake, and suddenly the tables have been completely flipped.
Nathan trying to push aggressively. Alems, all he has to do is sit back. Hopefully there is a drone waiting for him that he can try and relay, or his teammates can try and relay information. Just a flurry of bullets being expended by Nathan. But again, Alems, he knows he's in such low HP. He just has to hold back and wait for the diffuse sound. Half the diffuser gone. He has about another quarter to go. Oh! He goes through the wrong hole. So unfortunate for Nathan. And Alems cleans that up for him. Once again, so close, yet so far for Who Knows.
For Nathan as well, another big round. He's had a really good game so far. I think he's up to like 9, I think it's 8 or 9 kills now he's potentially on. There you go, 9 kills, good guess. 9 solid kills coming out for him, the highest in the game so far, even amongst the members on Secret, like Meepy, who's also been having a fantastic game. Definitely showing his weight in gold so far with the number of frags that he's racking up.
Where's Leon been? Haven't really seen him that much.
He's been pretty quiet. Like I say, mate, you can't be a hero every single week. Everyone
needs the big matches, it seems to be. That's whenever he turns up, which is what you expect from Leon. Those big matches, such as the G2 game that they did play, their only win of the entire season. just look what he did. He tore that team apart limb from limb, and he did the same to MnM as well. And that's what you want from your world-class players, is for them to turn up against the teams that matter. This isn't a team that really matters to Secret, because they have, you know, Lems and Meepy can still hold their own. But whenever you look at the caliber of a G2 lineup, even the caliber of MnM, that's whenever Leon Gids just monkeyed.
It's like when you look at any conventional sport, like football's always the greatest example I think I've got for this, is that sometimes you get big teams like Man United, for example, who won't play a good game, but they will still walk away at the end of the day with a 1-0 score.
Rough victory. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
You play dirty, you win the fight.
That's exactly it. You haven't got to pop off all the time. It's about having that consistency as a team to still walk away with the points when it matters, though. And that's the kind of thing that you're expecting to see here from Secret. Has it been the cleanest game so far? No. Are they still winning 4-1? Yeah. It's still looking, on the scoreline, the sort of thing you probably expect from this game. Maybe you'd say it should be 5-0 to Secret at this point. Whatever. Nate's playing really well, and you can't take that away from who knows.
So this will be, yet again, another kitchen defense for Who Knows. They've played it 3 times. They won it 1, and they lost it twice. The times that they did lose it, 2 completely different attacks. We've seen the very slow, methodical attack come in from Secret from above, trying to utilize the destructibility factor that they bring. Last time, it was a very quick rush coming in from Sunrise and Blue Bar. This one, the books went out the window. They've tried to rush in through that supply room, in towards that lobby side, and they've lost the gunfights. Nathan is on such low HP, and Leon knows he's there. Oh. An easy tap onto Nathan, and it does put it inside of a 3 versus 4, and even more kills is going to come out momentarily. Has the DMR. Duck, do not peek. Prox, do not peek. He peeks away, loses quite a lot of HP. Very lucky to try and get away with that, but he is a Duck, so he can heal himself back up.
Get them stims in and back up to full health he pretty much is as well. There's the second focal coming through. Doug could be ringing it in and ringing Nathan's, well not Nathan, sorry, No Thumbs' eardrums right there with some bullets. Brings him down as well, and they're into a fantastic spot to go for another plant here, 3 versus 3. Now it's all about where this next kill comes from though. They've found themselves with a few members on the point, but Prox is going to find a pick off there. The second one comes through as well. Suddenly it's into a 2 versus 1 where it's Leon Gids. You were speaking about your boy earlier on, Demo. This is the best time in the world for him to show up and remind everyone of that performance he pulled out against G2. And instead Prox is going to say, guys, no fairy tales today. I'm bringing this one home.
Yeah, that was a really weird round from Secret. They, like I said, every single one of their attacks went very differently, and extremely differently. We talked about that very slow, methodical round, which was their most successful one, where they played it nice and slow, nice and very well paced. They had the destructibility factor. They kind of squeezed every essence of life out of that Who Knows defense. And then for not that one, but the one previously, their 3rd time attacking it, it was that Blue Bar and Sunrise, where they just walked in towards the bomb site, and that great 1v1 against the Lems and Naif. But this time, they decided to try and go for a mega rush. You don't go for a mega rush unless you're bringing operators like a Montagna, like a Capitao. If Ying's available, then yeah, that's a big play that you can really go for, is that quick laundry aggression that we've seen from teams all around the world. Whenever the operators are not on the board, don't go for it.
Big one, but now we get to switch sides. That was our 6th round over and done. 4-2 to Team Secret at the half. And now we get to see Who Knows going on the attack. And I'm really excited to see how Nathan plays his half out. He had a fantastic round in defense. How aggressive he can get on the attack, and see how that one works out for them. They are going to bring an IQ to the field as well, something we didn't see too many teams employ earlier on, but they're aware that Valkyrie may well be a thing. So will be brought onto the field. Now it's a question of trying to find those cameras before Secret can act on them and go for any dirty peeks. We've seen a few cameras before thrown out towards ruins, thrown out towards onto the tarp as well. So making sure you've got that visibility can be a big one for some teams. Intel is king.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
So I'm expecting we're going to see Meepy play from below. That's where he really does excel. Even, you know, looking back 6 months ago, he's always on this particular map, has played that Valkyrie role, tried to go for the C4s from below. I actually believe that, you know, one of the best C4s we've seen of all time was on this map, him playing as Valkyrie, where, I don't know if you guys recall, I think it was either Rogue or it was against FaZe. I'm not entirely sure which one it was. I think it was against Rogue, where it was a 1v1. He was below, there was like 1 second on the clock. Diffuse was being planted on pool table, and he deagled out a hole and tossed the C4 up and killed because of a Valkyrie cam.
Disgusting.
So there is a lot of things there.
Immediate trade back there as well. Meepy finding the smallest hole in the world. Speaking about holes to the deagle, that one was probably just as small.
That's a popular spot that teams have really used a lot.
Yep. and why the hell not take any advantage you can get for yourself. Now, enough security, I think, on Secret's side here. They're not going to be afraid of playing this location where the smoke is now. Last time around with Who Knows, they were just not so much afraid of playing it, but they conceded and said, you know what, downstairs will be taken by Secret. We can't hold it. Let's give it over to them as well and not play the smoke in this corner. Whereas Secret are like, no, we want to be able to have both sides held down by our smoke player. We're taking this one and keeping it open for ourselves.
So Stiz does still have those smoke canisters, so Who Knows have to try and delay that as much as they can and just take their time, try and bait out all of that utility, but they're starting to get torn apart by those other roamers as well. Plemme down to such low HP. Leon, he hears someone jump over in towards courtyard, an easy cleanup from Leon gets on to Ace, down to NoFums. 1 versus 4. So much utility still left on the side of Team Secret. He even takes a couple of shots as well. You can see Leon from below trying to get a little bit frisky, and the tags come in, the wall bangs come out, and Team Secret take round number 7. They go up 5 rounds to 2.
In a good spot now, 2 more rounds, and this one is theirs, done and dusted. Who Knows, admittedly, have been putting up a much better fight than I think we anticipated at the start. We all sat here on the desk and said it's probably going to be a pretty dominant affair, akin to what we saw in that first map earlier on. But we've seen the exact opposite. Nathan's still leading when it comes to the kills. In fact, if you total up most of those kills there, they're relatively identical. There's not that much in it between the two sides when it comes to number of kills. Think of how many rounds you've seen where it's gone down to a 1 versus 1 to determine how things end.
Yeah, Thumbs not having the best of games, just barely.
Well, he has got no thumbs.
But
you know what I mean? Was that the Xbox.
Was that the joke?
Think about it. Do you actually need a thumb to play on PC?
Oh,
you can just make do that one.
Please,
please,
someone.
Just try doing this.
Someone come return him back to the mental institution, please.
I'm just saying, production even said, oh, spacebar. They're on this discussion.
How do you vault? If you have to go for a rotation hole, how do you vault?
Double tap space.
With what? Your finger, not your thumb?
Yeah, sure, mate. Why not?
The location of a bomb.
Use your nose.
How do you grip the mouse?
With your palm. Depends what kind of mouse you've got. Play with the rollerball like some elite players do. You got to think outside the box here, Demo.
The Xbox.
Exactly. Now we're back where it all started. No Thumbs was an old Xbox player. That's where his name, I believe, No Thumbs came from. Because, you know, you do need 2 thumbs to be able to play on the Xbox.
Yeah, just talking about him. He's not having the best of games. We have seen him in previous matchups where he has done quite well. Just barely missing the James Bond. Just barely missing it. Just by an assist.
No thumbs, no kills. Yeah, unlucky.
Wow. But, yeah, let's get back in to see the setup of Team Secret. I talked about the Vigil. Leon is known for playing that Vigil. He's great with K1N, also great with the SMG-12 sidearm, which he does prefer over the CZ5. More than likely, we're going to see that upstairs try and be held as much as they can by Team Secret. Like we've talked about, the deniability of having the buck from above is something you want to shut down early on as a defender, because we talked about it. Whenever you get players there who are destructibility, utility used, it can cause a lot of problems for the defender because they have to move about and shift their locations. Whenever people set up crossfires, then things do go missing.
Look at the spray as well. Perfect time when it comes to the smoke as well. C4 comes out as well. Not going to find anyone. Meepy spends so much time here as well with that Deagle, getting those angles open and still finds nothing. But No Thumbs, well, those 0 kills ain't going to treat today, friend. He goes down in this round as well. It's just utter chaos trying to push in through that door. Who Knows, almost squashing themselves through one of the smallest, thinnest pushing locations you can with service entrance, have been punished by Secret.
I've talked about this. You do not go for those quick rushes whenever you do not have the set operators available. You don't have Yings. You don't have that main force trying to push on in. You don't have Montana who can sit there and eat up all of those C4s being tossed out and also protects the planter at the same time. Maybe a kill for him onto Ghost, and Leon with that Vigil scanner finds an easy one onto Ace. Tries to look for
nice.
Great shot by Leon, a double for him. Making that, I believe, a triple. I think maybe just a 2K. But nonetheless, Leon,
a lot of Ks,
proving big for himself. And that will be match point for Team Secret.
It's been a good game, to be fair, as well. A lot closer than I expected so far. Let's not completely write Who Knows off so far. Still dropping those 13 Ks. Nathan, well, as we want to go on his Twitter bio, I'm pretty sure as well. Got a 13K against Secret? Yeah, no problem, mate.
So we move in. Still, no thumbs. Don't finish with 0 kills. Just don't do it.
Hey man, it's not as weak as a support player, okay?
That's not an excuse. We've talked about this, Dave.
Don't hate on the support players, man.
There's an excuse. Every player can kill.
They can. Maybe he's a pacifist today. The one day of the year where he's like, no kills today, sorry.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Hey man, he's playing a banner. I sympathise.
We say that.
With getting 0 kills on the banner.
Meatbee was playing Habana.
Yeah, Meatbee's kind of the one guy that you can give any operator there and you know he's definitely going to go out there and do work. But speaking of work, final round. Into that prep phase is going to be Sunrise and Blue Bar. Let's see if Who Knows change up their attack this time round, because last time, again, throwing 3 men through into... I got the idea, right? They wanted to try and make it play, and like you say, they did not have the Ying to get in there in the first place. They probably could have made it work without the Ying. If they had the Monty there to act on the back of those smokes going down, get in there, turn his back, get the plant down, then suddenly you're in a fantastic position. But because they had none of that there, even with the C4 being missed by Meepy, they were still just getting completely sprayed down every single time they tried to make a move in there. So missing those final couple of key elements to really make the push happen.
So we're going to see the blue bar. This is going to be our second blue bar of the night. We did see Who Knows try and defend that blue bar, but however, Meepy completely shut that away with a great triple kill in the dying seconds of that round. Already, we're going to see a spawn kill come in from, I believe, Leon Gids, and he does manage to down, but do not snag the kill onto Ghost. And he will be reset, but hey, it's better than nothing. So they will try and hold it upstairs as much as they can. They have a Lems and Leon and Meatbee, the triple threat combo coming in, and I think they're trying to play Leon a little bit more loosely. Let him do Leon things. We've talked about this. The guy's great game sense, great gun skill, makes him easily one of the best players in Europe, even though his team may be sitting in bottom place. I believe he still has the one of the top 5 cost in Europe, which is something to go by. You know, he's up there competing with the likes of Kanto Raketti, up there with, you know, the likes of every great player in EU, Uno as well, you know, another great fragger, and he's holding his own. Stiz, he knows there's going to be a couple of attackers knocking on his wall. Leon, like we've talked about, finds Ghost on that approach in towards that flank. He, again, in a very scary position, has that EC jammer, can deny any of those drones coming at him. They know whereabouts he is, but not entirely, and tries to come in for the push, misses the shots. SMG11 comes in, great coordination from him and Stiz. Trade comes in, and they will be victorious.
No Thumbs did it! No Thumbs got a kill! The hero! Although Leon Gids, it doesn't matter.
Team's still losing, so maybe not.
Hey man, you take the small wins when you can get them, right? With Leon Gids, you've said it yourself as well, more like Leon Gods at some point with how well he's been playing in this game. And down to the point now where they're in a 4 versus 2. Well, Secret are probably going to clinch this one away. There comes the final one. Prox will get one back, but here's the last man standing on about 12 HP. All it's going to take is a couple of shots to come his way from one of these 3 members left on Team Secret. And this map will be over and done with. He's going to try and push in because, well, you've got it at this point. However, Leon Gids quite aptly is going to end this one out with the kill. Team Secret will win Coastline away from Who Knows.
Yeah, no surprise. I expected the 7-2 coming in. I think that Who Knows really needed a more tighter gap line, especially whenever they did have to forfeit that match against FlyLo. So FlyLo are in the driving seat between those two. We've talked about this inside of Group A. We can have our little mini battles. We have Secret versus MnM, who gets the first spot.
Yep.
And then it also is Who Knows versus FlyLo to see who gets that playoff spot.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair to them, like you say, it's unfortunate the whole FlyLo situation with them because they actually did play pretty well in that game. First 3-4 rounds, it took Secret time to warm into it.
It was close. It was very close rounds.
It is. I mean, we put, again, start of the day, we looked at this between these 2 first games and we're like, stomp, stomp. I think I said on camera, like, if you're a gambling man, you know where your money would go. I think both teams that actually lost have already shown themselves a real case here to say we can still compete. There is a reason why we're here in Prem as well, and they are getting a good number of frags.
There's positives for sure.
Absolutely, and even the scoreline doesn't strictly reflect exactly how close these games were in some rounds, I thought.
Yeah, in some of those rounds, they could have been closed out by Who Knows on multiple occasions, but you still see that dominant factor, and even then, it's like, with Secret, they're probably hiding a lot of their strategies, their tactics, and what they normally do as individuals in certain areas of the maps and all those bits and pieces. And it's not really too much of a surprise because they have absolutely no need to. You know, they can play it as default and standard as much as they like and still keep a nice, healthy scoreline.
I think a big thing that comes down to, yes, we've seen Who Knows have these unwinnable positions nearly going their way, but it just comes down to that final clutch essence that you need to have as a professional player. And of course, 4 out of these 5 players do play inside of Pro League, Plymouth being the only one who is part of the UK Premiership for them. Again, Plymouth did okay. Didn't really have to do much whenever Meatbee and Leon Gids were running the show as we expected. But that 1v1 gunfights really was the decider. You think about it, we had Nathan inside of 2 1v1s. If he managed to win that, we could still be seeing this match being played out right now.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see when Team Secret actually play MnM again. That's when we'll see Pledma shine a lot more, because when you play teams like this, it's not just like the fact they walk into the crosshair, may know exact angles and where to actually choose from in certain particular areas of the map. But with some players, they don't shine until they actually play at a higher caliber team. Maybe we'll do worse, maybe we'll do better. It's just one of those situations we won't actually know until it actually occurs in time.
It's an interesting one, and I think ultimately what you have to remember when it comes down to Siege is that, yes, strategy is a huge part of this game. You can prep in the world and come up against a team with 0 strats. Ultimately, it all comes down to who pulls that trigger first. That's what you saw come through in the round where we did see, who knows, pick up a couple of rounds. Well, not a couple of rounds earlier on, it's 1 round earlier on. These things happen, and for teams like Team Secret, again, with the level of performance they've got, strategy and gunplay is what really separates the good from the great. Maybe that's a sign of why they're struggling at parts as well. When these rounds they're dropping, consistency is key. They can kind of tighten up some of those looser areas as well. That's what will really set them apart as champions. And again, still think they're in a spot where they are in the driving seat of the UK Premiership. Might change when it comes to land though. Everything changes there.
Yeah, it will do. And with who knows, what would you say they need to do to kind of step up the game a little bit more? Wasn't as good as when they played Team Secret last time, but what would you say they needs to, you know, kind of like some changes here and there?
Overall, I think Who Knows had quite a very good showing. There's a couple of individual performances which did let them down, so that's completely on the individual players. That's something I cannot tell them what to do, is try and get those frags. It's up to them to put that on the board. Sure, everybody has their off days, but really, you know, we're looking at Who Knows and FlyLo. They both drop points tonight.
For sure.
So that's good for both of them.
Yeah.
Then again, they both switch where they have to play the other giants in the group. So again, you're kind of expecting both of those teams to drop points once again. And then hopefully week 6, we see no problems just pop off, and that's whenever it really does matter.
That's when it counts the most. But I think the key thing for me is seeing from both of these games so far, for both MnM and Secret, we've seen them have 3 roamers going around all the time and just doing absolute work. Bit more coordination on top of the gunplay we're seeing these 2 losing teams with tonight. You might see wildly different results in future weeks.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of weeks left now, so if they want to make even more of an impact or at least make something happen, it needs to be now. But we do have an interview from Team Secret. We do have Meepy on board with us to see exactly what he has to say and how that match occurs. Meepy, how's things, my friend?
Hello, it's good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I was here just watching that match on the desk in a very dominant fashion, as always. Not really too many surprises there. But a simple question to start off with was, how's things get another win on the board?
It's always good to get another win on the board, you know, another win close towards attending the LAN event, which is, at the end of the day, the ultimate prize.
Yeah, it's not too long now, because only a month away. And because you do have Pledma on the team, how's that been fitting in terms of the adjustments and what you have to do as a team? Is he fitting in well so far?
Yeah, so far it's fitting in pretty well. We give him some simple roles like Maestro, just set some cams here, do reinforcements there, hold this area of the map, and we'll leave you to it. You know, we don't want to flood him with too many complex strategies or anything that he's not too comfortable with. We keep it simple for him, and he does well. He does exactly what we want him to do. Pledma, push this guy, try and shoot him, try and kill him. He'll do it. No questions asked, and that's what we want.
Yeah, we did notice with Pledma as well. He's been holding his own since the start, and it's quite hard to, you know, jump into a squad where you've sort of well known and all the bits and pieces. So it's completely fair enough. And the last question I was going to ask you was the fact that, are you going to start playing a lot more default and standard to the rest of the season to not give too many strategies away, or are you just going to play as you were until that offline finals?
I think when it comes down to the way we're approaching Prem is that obviously we don't want to show our full hand, because right now we're practicing and prepping for Pro League, and in the previous season is the same. So what we do is we take a very generalized strategy and we just try and push it a little bit in Prem, see how it works out, and then maybe adapt on it for Pro League. But for the most part, it's all just off the cuff how we want to play. We take the operators that we feel comfortable playing, put them in areas where they excel, and then we let the players do the rest.
Well, great, fantastic stuff. Well done for the win, of course. And maybe thanks for being here for the interview, and congrats to your team for getting another win on the board.
Thank you.
And Meepy seems, you know, pretty standard, saying it's just another win on the board, you know, doing very well. I think they're pretty almost sure certain to get to offline finals. Only 2 more matches left, but not too many surprises.
I love the point that Meepy brought up about that, again, they're not going to show their full hand. Be crazy if you're going to start playing these Pro League strategies whenever they're in a very dire situation. They need everything they can. But I love the fact that they're playing a lot more loosely. Typically, the Secret that we're used to seeing in Pro League is that they go with a set strategy. If they see a play, they make the play. That's what Secret are known for, is that adaptability factor. But for this, they just, okay, let's see what they're going to do. We don't have a set plan, and then they adapt. So they're going straight into it. like you said, a very loose idea, not set in stone. And I like that they're kind of using this as their training grounds to see if strategies do work. Oh, does this crazy idea work? Hey, it's starting to work out a little bit. What could we do to try and improve this to make this our actual strategy? Which I love that they're using the UK Prem as another outlet to their Pro League training.
You do find in some cases as well that, like, although it's not the only reason why they drop some rounds, it does mean that sometimes they will drop the ball and things will change. But sometimes, you know, you have to fail in the pursuit of making progress, and that's exactly what they're doing.
That's right. And if you want to be there at the ESL Premiership Finals for Rainbow Six Siege in Manchester, of course, go to the site, which is esl.im/R6S Finals. They won't be available until Friday at 9 AM, but make sure you get those tickets quick because they will go pretty fast. And I think we all know that it's a great way to get more involved in Siege if you haven't been at a LAN event in yourself. And of course, it's just very encouraging. Actually, great thing to see all your best players out there.
I love it. LAN is probably, it's the pinnacle that anyone aspires towards. Like, sure, it's great fun playing with your mates at home in your bedroom, but ultimately actually getting to LAN itself, even if you're not playing and just being witness to it, that itself is a huge kind of like, whoa moment.
Yeah, it's just one of those bits and pieces, isn't it? But of course, if you do want to go and actually vote for your MVP, just go to @ESLUK on Twitter for that match, and you can vote on the polls over there. Now, we do have another match on board very soon, which will be Vexed versus Wind and Rain. But before we go into that, if anyone wants to actually look at any of the VODs, not just from this week, but from previous weeks as well, just go to esl.im/PremVOD, and you can get all the content there and see all the matches from the present, past, and the future when they get uploaded. Now,
that's the first thing I've got in my bookmarks bar.
Oh, really?
I get home tonight, literally ready. PremVOD.
It's in his favourites.
It's not open.
Don't need to worry about it.
That's what I'll show you in a minute, mate. It's fine.
And now this is the next match. We do have Vexed versus Wind and Rain. A little bit of a quick glare or outcome of what you think could happen going into this next game before we have our next break.
I don't want to leave. I want to leave the surprises. I'm not going to give any comment.
Demo is a man of many surprises.
I have a feel how it's going to go.
He's a Kingsman, of course.
But I don't want to say anything.
But it is a hot match. You've got to remember that.
Teams.
Okay, well, we'll leave you with that anyway, going into that next match. But we do have a break now, but we will see you in a few minutes for that next series.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Eliminates the format, and the distance shot. Oh, there we go. Finally stays. Once again, that man on the smoke. Pretty quick Stiz gets one, can he be finished off? Yes, he can! And Team Secret will be your ESL Rainbow Six Premiership champions.
And welcome back to the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership powered by Intel. And we've got our next match on the board, which is Vexed versus Wind and Rain. And this is the match to watch in week. Very obvious, very clear. We knew this is the match was going to be the closest one. And it should be a very close affair again. That last match you saw when they played in the first week, we did see Wind and Rain take it. Vexed need to get another win on the board.
Like I said, Group B, it can go anywhere. We don't know what shape it's going to take us, what path we're going to head to. It really is the one that's just up in the air. Of course, Group A, more clear-cut. The Group of Death. We know what's going to happen. Group B is just stacked.
It is. Epsilon are currently sat on 9 points, I believe, and then you've got a couple of teams sat on 4 and 1 on 3. So that second spot is like, first spot's pretty much locked away at this point, unless Epsilon really slip up in the next 2 weeks.
Technically, last spot can still take first. That's how tight it is.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Group A. Group B is completely different scenario, which is great. But, you know, Vexed, they need another win. It's getting close now. It's past the halfway mark in the group stages. And if they lose this one, it's a lot of pressure on these guys. So what do you feel like Vexed will have to do now? Because even though they did lose that last match in the first week, it could have gone either way. There's a lot of very close rounds. Do you reckon Vexed will be able to step things up enough to take on this team again?
Well, I think that first week it was down to specifically the map, which was Clubhouse, which is one of Wind and Rain's strongest map. They've always been good at Clubhouse, especially even dating back way back in towards that Guidance Gaming roster from last season. They've always been good in that map. So I think that they kind of lost it from the map veto, which we do say about a lot of matchups. Like, you know, for example, 6 Invitational Final, G2 kind of won that off the map phase alone. And that's what we're seeing more common is that teams prep these map bans to make sure they either put themselves in a great position or make the other team uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And you've got to remember as well that Pi last week from, well, sorry, not last time, last time they played back in week 2. Guy dropped 17 kills. He had a fantastic game. Want to see another big performance out of him today as well. Ideally see someone else joining him at the top end of those ranks as well.
It's going to be very close again. That first match, like I mentioned before, so many different rounds was so close, but we're going to go to the rosters now to see exactly who will be playing on each team. The first one for you, Demo, will be the Wind and Rain roster.
So we have had a couple of changes, quite big changes to say the least. So Wind and Rain, previously they were playing with 2 Germans. They had Hayes and also Q, or Andy, as I always like to refer to him. And they're not here. They're not here anymore. We have now have Harris, Blackout, Vexed, who were still at me and Free Core off the team. And they've brought in Speeds and Tyrant. Speeds, who was playing for FlyLo, did qualify with FlyLo. He's decided to jump ship. Very good ship to jump as well, you have to say, admittedly. And then also Tyrant, who we did see play for Who Knows. Was it last week or the week before we did see him play. He was quite a standout player for them as well. He's a great fragger, a very young player. I think he's only the age of 18, turned 18 very recently. So this is his chance to put a mark and potentially try and get picked up by a Challenger League team or a team who may be playing in Challenger League playoffs on Monday, for example. So yeah, this is a real place where he can really stand by his teams and make him look like a standout player.
Yeah, it's great to see some of these players going up on the ladder as the weeks progress, week on, week out. And now, Des, if you could take me through this lovely Vex roster.
Well, like I mentioned earlier on, we saw Pi have a fantastic game a couple of weeks ago. Jesus, who's been playing a lot, I've been seeing him playing in the Nordic Championship, playing here in ESL as well. Guys playing seemingly everywhere, and Ferrell will be a name that no one is particularly shy to as well. Former coaches on the G2 side, so a lot of stats experience coming through here on the team. Just got to start putting that into some big results on the board as well, starting today against Wind and Rain. Yeah,
they are bottom on the table now, so less of the losses, more of the wins. Haven't had any draws, which is a shame because they would have tied with the other 2 teams, which is a bit of a fall-up, but never mind. But what kind of maps do you feel like Vexed should have in order to maybe take down Wind and Rain? Because you did say it's more based on map choice, but do you have enough information in that noggin of yours to see which map Vexed could maybe prefer?
Ooh. Well, if you think about it from last season, I thought their bank was a very good map for them the entirety of last season. We've seen those quick rushes coming in. They even pulled that out against Secret. But I think Leon put an end to that very swiftly, as he usually does. And then also a map like Consulate, which I believe that was their most rushed map. Vexed are known for being that Russian side, not a Russian side, a Russian side. But certainly they have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. I'm sure there'll be no slouch either. We've seen the strat book. Rush B, guys. That's always the strat.
Rush B, as they say.
And we do have the picks and bans there. And Villa will be the choice in this match. Now, with Wind and Rain, They managed to upset them in their first match. They couldn't ask for a better start here, but they need to pressure on and continue it forward and keep Vexed in that bottom spot.
Looking at it, this is unknown territory for both teams. This is something that we're not expecting at all.
I like it though. Villa being one of the maps in the pool, I think, that are very strat heavy. Yeah. And pretty much almost the entirety of the upstairs floor is destructible. You can get all kinds of ridiculously crazy angles. So for whichever team here has not prepped this match as much as the other, you're going to find a lot of advantage, a lot of random one-off picks going through here, there, and everywhere. It's a really good time for both sides to try and surprise each other, I think.
You have to remember as well, Vexed are not a team which scrim regularly. They just turn up and play Premiership because they rely so heavily on the adaptability factor, which we've seen time and time again from Vexed. Wind and Rain, they have 2 new roster changes. They're not going to have strats prep for Villa. No way are they going to have strats prep for Villa. So this is going to be not a match of strategies, but a map of adaptability.
Gunplay and adaptation. Yeah. Both. Let's agree to disagree.
Well, gunplay's always going to be there. Don't get the kills, you don't win the round.
Guys, we do have the operator bands coming in now with our final match of the evening. A match to watch this week with Wind and Rain versus Vexed. And guys, take it away.
So, this will be into our last match of the night of week 4. We're nearing our halfway point of the entire season, and we're nearly done already with the spring season.
We've seen Glass band away every single game so far tonight as well.
You know,
it's Glass. That's going to change soon again with the changes coming in. Very interesting. Does not get the yellow outlines when he is moving, so has to stay still. Cannot be playing entry fragger anymore. Jackal, I think, is a really good band here as well. Actually, for both sides, because based on what we've just said, neither side probably going to have strats. There's going to be a lot of roam play, a lot of gun play. If you can have someone hunting down someone who's trying to play quite isolated and separate like that, well, who else you want to ban away except for the Jackal?
And plus, Jackal's a bit of a multitasker. He can be played as a soft breacher, like a buck, like a sledge. He has that side shotgun that's so great at opening those vertical holes. Great ban. Maestro, no surprise. We've seen how pesky those Maestro cameras can be. Echo, again, you have an IQ. Shouldn't be an issue. Hopefully they bring an IQ. They should realize, okay, so there's Valkyrie cameras on the board. There's also Echo drones on the board. This is where we always insta-pick IQ. So I'm still, there you go. I'm still curious to see the roster changes on Wind and Rain to see how they will perform. You know, people talk about the almighty US shuffle that is coming very soon, I would imagine. You look at the Prem shuffle. You look at it.
We don't wait for our roster mania. We just start whenever we want.
I looked at it. So originally there was 40 players on who started off this season. We've now added 16 new players since then.
Well, if you want madness and you want a taste of what's to come in NA, where do you go? You go to the ESL Prem in the UK. We've got it all, boys. We've got it all. 4Ks galore, roster swaps mid-season, you name it.
Feels.
Strat saving.
Strat saving.
Hey, man, he said it's on an interview. Said it themselves.
The only pro team you're expecting that to happen.
Yeah. Hey, man, it happens. I'll take it.
So we will head into a statuary defense, quite a different pick. More than likely we see Games Room being that most heavily defended. Kitchen, now and again, gets a little bit of play. You can get some pretty interesting strategies for that, especially attackers. I love watching the attacks play out on a Kitchen defense. But for this defense, we're expecting a bit of a room presence. 90 corridor is where we're really expecting a lot of the gunfights to go down. You can see a bit of prep. Just one bit of barbed wire. It alerts Vex that, yeah, we're going to be playing inside of 90. Challenge us if you dare. And also rotation hole in towards Vault. And he will also castle that off. This is a great strategy. A very pickpocket strategy where you just kind of play it very fly. You play it very adaptability, which we've always talked about. And it may surprise Vexed.
And that's what I think this whole map is going to be about. We spoke about it during the warm-up as well, and we said that for both sides, this is going to be about getting winning frags and upsetting the enemy team, keeping them always guessing as to what's going on. So imagine for both sides, you will see not so much unconventional strats, but different takes on popular strats that you'd normally see on Villa coming through.
Pi is already looking for the gunfights, and that quick bandit trick will eliminate some of the X-Kairoses, but not all of them. And another bandit trick comes out that will get the remaining X-Kairoses as well. Only some of them still. You can see that Habana is placing them on both sides of the wall, so you're at least getting something if a bandit trick does come down. You don't have to worry about Kaid, who, of course, we know will be added very shortly, but at this moment, still not allowed to be played. And you can see, Vexed are looking for the fight. They want the kills. They want to try and get up close and personal, but that could be their undoing as Dumpling is eliminated by Blackout.
Already not so much the quickest start as well. It did take a good minute and a half for this to all kick off. Definitely been a slower start than what we've seen in other games, but you can see they're basically taking over Master Bedroom here on the east side, pushing in towards the bomb. I think they've got 3 members over here right now. Even left the plant very safely outside as well, just to make sure nothing too unexpected happened. They've got 1 member playing off towards the south side here as well. Looks like it's Jesus, just lurking on the windows, popping in to say hello. A couple of holes coming through as well. Nothing they can actually breach through because of those bandit tricks, but they do have the sight holes if they want them there. The problem is, of course, that doesn't actually get you onto point itself, so you're going to try and find an alternative angle. Immediately trade outs, and Harris finds the second one as well. Pi trying to follow Jesus on the way through, and suddenly Vexed initially tried to get through the wall, failed to do so, then tried to push point, failed to do so, and it looks like, by the looks of it, Demo, in terms of completing this round, they'll fail to do that as well.
Vexed have tried to just force their way in. This is Villa. This is a map where you have to set out your strategies. It is a very defender-sided map that we've talked about so much. If you get the defense in Villa, you automatically have an advantage leading into the game. They're bringing Habana. Why not just bring the Thermite? It's more reliable. You get those bigger holes. And plus, if Bandit is trying to bandit trick, you're bringing Maverick anyway. So where's the issue with a bandit trick coming in? That's why Maverick is great, because he is that glorified Thatcher that doesn't have to worry about any bandit charges coming in. Vexed have really just played this very sloppy. They haven't did any of their angle check-ins. They haven't managed to successfully pull off their main push, and it's really let them down. They're trying to force their way in through the 2 doorways. That is just a choke point.
It's what the worst thing was they were forced to play through that choke by their own errors as well. Yeah, putting literally everything into trying to get through with the Habana charges came back to bite them. I feel if you're going to rely so heavily on trying to make that wall play work, you bring double hard breach. Otherwise, you find yourself getting your Habana picked off early, you find yourself in the same spot. At least give yourself that double insurance just in case something does go wrong. But they are hard punished for it. Wind and Rain, 1-0, of course, is their defensive side as well, and we just said a second ago, it's quite defensively favoured. So may well end up going the same way when it comes to Vexed on their go round as well. Going to stick to the very similar style as set up last time round, not even bringing the Maverick. So I like that at least the Maverick is there if they can use him and actually manage to get themselves to the wall. They dropped it out late last time. They've got it now. They do have that breach option with him, even if it's not strictly the best option.
Another thing as well that you have to remember is this is a group where I think everybody from Epsilon could get relegated at the moment, which is a very scary aspect to think about, that we could be losing one of these big 4 to a relegation battle potentially. So there's a lot of pressure really on the shoulders, where in this group anybody can beat anybody. That's one thing that we can definitely say, is we see these back and forths between, oh yeah, Vex got beaten by Wind and Rain, and Wind and Rain get beat by Unnamed or get beat by Epsilon. And then all of a sudden Epsilon get beat by Vexed. You know, this kind of mix and match that we're seeing so much.
Yep.
And it's a very scary aspect.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Group of chaos, I think I like to call it. One's a group of death, the other one's chaos. Then what have you got, like famine and pestilence and war and... You know, like, that's what's the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen's groups of death. It's a very strange name for all of them, but we'll go for it next season. I like the sound of that. It makes it sound very chaotic and dark and miserable. And Siege is not a miserable game. It's a fantastic game.
We have some pretty bright scenery, as you can see by Villa.
Villa's very beautiful.
The beautiful Villa of Tuscany.
Yeah, the very beautiful Villa that's currently being torn to shreds with shotguns and explosives and you name it. I'd hate to see the property value of that go down afterwards.
Sorry, this has been used as, like, I believe the lore of Villa is this is used as a smuggler point. And this is where Alibi went undercover to try and take down these rare art dealers. That's why you see like painting rooms and statuaries, because that's all been stolen from different museums. And that's why Alibi's been brought in, and she was a double agent. And she's been brought in to try and steal off all of the art, and yeah, that's what she does.
Everyone else doesn't really steal it, they just do a great job of smashing it to pieces. But that first minute's down and out of the way. Vexed, at least this time around, have not lost a member early on. It was about 1 minute and 35 last time where the action really kicked off. By this point, they'd already used all of their Ex-Kairos as well, trying to get through the wall, and have been hard punished for it by that bandit on the other side. This time around, there is no bandit there, so they will be relatively uncontested when it comes to actually getting through the wall here as well. They know exactly where the bomb is, they know what they're going for. They've got a huge gaping hole there to get themselves in, one in the back corner as well. There are options for them on the attack here. It's just trying to find out where the defenders are, because as you can see right now, no one is in sight, despite a drone being basically bang on the point.
So they have decided to go for that very popular strategy where you try and force your way in through Laundry. They have a couple of holes opened up, also get rid of the castle barricade. Great use by Pi. No smoke, no cover, and they're going to try and stick the defuse. Zach will have a bit of a battle against the Valkyrie and also lose that, but the diffuser has been stopped by Harris because they didn't have any smoke grenades to cover the defuse. It will go inside of a 3 versus 3, however, and here comes the flank from Vexed. He picks up one inside of a 2 versus 3 is where it lands. Dumpling a kill, back and forth it goes. Another one for Vexed. Blackout and Vexed against Dumpling. The Scotsman, what can he do with the R4C? He knows there's one still lurking inside of Laundry, tries to fight against the smoke, sees the smoke. 1 versus 1. Where will this take us? The diffuser is in the hands of Vexed. Still has these stun grenades, has 2 of them still left, but the hole being made by the Maverick will put it to rest. Ash falls, Jaeger stands victorious, and Wind and Rain 2 rounds in the trot.
Vex playing so, I don't want to say solo queue, but it feels that way at the moment. Sending 4 or 5 members through the same choke point, we've seen teams punished for this. They got punished for it in the first round by trying to funnel everyone through the same 2 choke points. And they were doing it again there. They got the drones in, they had the visibility, and were like, oh, well, I guess no one's there. Let's go for the play. There was a lot more work to do there, I felt, around actually getting clear onto other areas of the map. They're just not taking control of Villa. They're literally finding the smallest number of rooms they can have and actually push towards the point and going for that and leaving basically the rest of the map to Wind and Rain to do whatever they want with.
It looked good. It really did. It started to look well. They got the first pick,
and then
which was important. But the big thing was not because of the cover coming in from the smoke grenades that I did touch upon. That's not a big issue, because you can still just refrag, which they did, and then pick up the diffuser and plant again. It's the fact that Feral, I think it was Feral, no, it was actually Dumpling on the Ash, who was upstairs in bedroom. That hatch is right above the laundry, so if the defender gets access of that, that's your round done. The fact that he dropped the hatch to try and pick up the kills, instead of staying, cost him that round.
Because they got immediately dropped behind as well.
Jaeger came in 5 seconds later. If he'd literally just sat behind the bed and waited for Jaeger, because automatically, whenever the calls come in, oh, they're planting laundry, they're planting, Jaeger's going to rush straight towards that hatch. If he had stayed there and got that kill, that would have been round win for Vexed.
It was a very funneled attack, and you said yourself they're quite rushy in terms of how they play. We saw it quite a lot built into them. Wind and Rain also had some time of doing it as well. But Vex is almost kind of synonymous with the org itself. It's just a case of actually making it work and keeping your back covered at all times. Playing it safe, you might say. Whereas so Wind and Rain, that whole round, they didn't even bother playing point. They just played for the retake in a sense, but didn't even let them get the plant down in the first place. So really nice, solid start by them, going 2-0 so far. Let's see how Vex choose to mix things up, though. Twice now they've tried to play through 2 very narrow push points, and this is always the problem with this map, I think, is although, yes, there is a lot of vertical visibility where you can get a lot of frags down, the problem is you often find yourself being funneled into rooms where you'll get yourself in a very tight spot. Not Tyrant already being dropped at least gives something to Vex. I don't think he expected to see them there because they've been playing as such a group so far. To have one man off by himself and getting frags like that, that's the kind of surprise that Vex have got to bring to the party.
So they have took the first blood, which is a great thing for Vex. They have already the upper hand. Wind and Rain have to play a little bit more passive. Good stuff from Speed. Manages to find the refrag onto Zach. So that's Thatcher gone. And no bandits that they have to worry about. So again, losing Thatcher isn't the biggest loss in terms of utility factor. Speed, however, has the C4 and he's been left to roam below. That's a big no-no. You really need to shut him down as quickly as you can. I believe he did get droned out by Jesus, who was stationed there in towards that main door. Vex also on the roam, so they have 2 to find. But then again, they're nowhere near the bomb site. If Vex see the potential, they could just push straight into bomb site, take control, and that's going to be a round win for Vex. They've already took control of 90, they've opened up parts in towards the vault, but they still have to find the 2 remaining anchors. One inside of A-bomb behind the bar, and Echo being located inside of the study.
Again, it's more that case where they're all playing so tight together, though. You can see even just through the outlines there, there's 3 or 4 of them all gathered super close together, and Warren just sat at angles where they can see these push points they're going for. It's been exactly the same story as the last 2 rounds. The big difference here is that members of Vex, in that case Feral, almost went down to it. They are finding kills across onto the other side, so it's not the end of the world for them. It's just about converting it into a round win. And this feels a lot like the games of old, where they're being pinched now in the final 45 seconds. This is where mistakes start getting made by the attacking side because they're running out of time.
So he doesn't have a C4, he cannot deny the plant. Still, you have 2 gas canisters on Blackout, along with those Echo drones. And Harris playing inside the study, a great position for him. Speed's on the flank. Manages to find Dumpling. Pi will try and go for the plant right in the open, and that will be the kill for Speedster down, and Harris will clean up onto Feral. It goes into a 2 versus 1. Jesus into a 1 versus 1. Blackout versus Sledge. Pi, no way he's getting picked up in this scenario unless we do see a very big play coming in from Jesus. Diffuser as well has to get picked up. He's going to try and hunt for the kill. Blackout there at Vault. Nade gets cooked. He still thinks he's behind the A-bomb. And Blackout, easy cleanup. Speeds MVP of that round.
Huge plays of the flank coming out as well, and that's exactly what we were speaking about. Vexed are literally funneling themselves through one small spot as a whole unit. Wind and Rain are then finding long angles, they're flanking behind them. They are almost collapsing on Vex. We saw it in the first round with the drop. In that round, it was getting behind them in the vault itself as the plant came down. Vex are just almost playing it feels blind at points, where they're not aware of where the Wind and Rain members are, and they're letting them get away with whatever they want to.
So this will complete the rotation for Wind and Rain. They have 1 free bomb sites on the trot. Not an easy thing to do for most cases, but again, on a map like FlyLo, it does play in the hands of the defenders. So they get to start all over again. That does mean that the kitchen and the games is locked out at the moment. They now can go back to that trophy room and statuary, or if they want to, they could have went library as well, but we're not really expecting that bomb site because it is certainly the weakest of the 4. Still viable, but I still think it takes a certain team to crack that code. So we head back up to the statuary. We did see Wind and Rain defend this last time, but again, that was down to a very sloppy Vexed attack in my eyes. They haven't changed anything from their lineup for, I think, these entire rounds. It's been the exact same 5.
It has, and there's no real need to, I guess, on the side of War as well, when it's been working out as well as it has. I mean, attacking side, like you say,
it's been
they did choose to bring out the Maverick. Like, the last 2 rounds, they brought the Maverick. They did drop it the first round in the 6th pick. They've now kept it on side. This is where I'm curious to see what they change up. Because last time round, they sorted this double wall here where Not Tyrant is currently sat. They've managed to get a couple of Habana charges off and get some sight lines in there. Wind and Rain didn't care. They just held angles and watched the choke points which they had to push for and punished them once they tried to go for that. So they have to get this double wall open if they're going to make this work, or try and take a different angle onto the point itself.
I would like to see them try and pressure the Bandit a lot more. Let's remember what you came back to whenever we were talking about Villa as a map. Destructibility from below. You can nade out that bandit. Also, you can shoot open the top of that triple wall, and you can toss a nade over the top of it to try and kill bandit. There's options here that Vexed have, but they're not thinking about what they have available to themselves. They need to get Zach in a better position. They've been playing him more as kind of holding these flanks for some reason. You're a Sledge. You want to be up close and personal, have those frag grenades. All it takes is Feral to open up the top, which they will start to do. Flashbang goes in, eats up the ADSs, and then the nade follows suit.
A bomb has been located.
It's almost like they're listening to you, Demo. Almost.
Well, this wouldn't be the first time I call it right.
Well, let's see if they actually make it work out for them. No nades being thrown over just yet. It's more having the option there if they do choose to go for that play. The big question now, of course, is why? Or when, sorry. They've got the IQ sat around as well, which is a big one. Just making sure they know exactly where any of those gadgets are. And the answer so far is, well, there aren't any. What I do like is Vexed are making sure this time around at the very least they are managing to get some drones in. Look at this by the looks of it. They've got through pretty much cleanly. There's going to be no chance of any of this getting blown up. They've got the whole wall open. Now they can start trying to execute the play they struggled to last time. First smoke canister comes out at 1:35. That's very early.
So Zach, we said we want to see him use those nades to try and get rid of that bandit. This time they've did it, I think, with just the flashbangs. They've decided to blind the bandit so he doesn't exactly know where his bandit charger is being placed, which is great stuff from them. So they have got the wall open, so they've improved dramatically since the last time they tried to attack this bomb site, but they're still very congested, very grouped up. Big kill from Zach, because that's the guy from below who did, like we've seen time and time again, has decided to go for those flanks and those rotates. Vexed also below, and Feral will start to have to plant a 3 versus 3. You still
flank again.
Right? Once again, you can see them trying to force their way in, but this time it will work. The diffuser is planted, and could we see Vexed take their first round?
You saw Wind and Rain going for the exact same strategy. They're just a little bit slower to execute it. This time he's going for that flank, coming up behind everyone else. They've got one inside already. Can they find the second? No, they can't. Jesus on the Maverick will trade that one back over. It's all down to Not Tyrant in a horrible situation. Gets one. Can he find a second? No, he cannot. Jesus. Well, he has been reincarnated. He's been doing big work in that round with 3 kills to his name. And Vexed finally will get a point on the board.
So we move into round number 5. A little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Vex. Certainly they managed to pull a round back, but still a lot of work to do. Either way, Wind and Rain, they have managed to at least break even. On a map like Villa, you want to at least have a 4-2 lead going into your attacks, because then certainly Vexed, it's a defender-sided map. They're going to have a lot of fun with that. They can start adapting, putting different players in certain positions. We know that Feral can do massive things, and really we're still waiting for Pi to have that one round which just sets him alight. It's kind of like a stick of dynamite in this circumstance. As soon as you get that guy going, he's just going to explode all over your teammates.
Well, hopefully you don't overcook him and he explodes inside the oven, right? Need a bit of time for it. You've got to make sure it
doesn't cook in
right.
you know, for example, and just blow stuff up.
Oh, mate, the number of teams that we saw that happening with at the Invitational, just like trying to nade a hole, dropping through and killing themselves, was like, please, please. But it happens at all levels, no stress about that. Vex actually swapping some stuff out this time around, then bringing the Zofia to the field with the Dokkaebi also coming on side, which I quite like. We're going to go back to that same bomb point again. Wind and Rain, as we saw in every single round so far, have been trying to play for the flank. They let Vex push in, let them do what they want, and then go for the retake while they're still trying to set up in their positions and try and capitalize there. Last time round they were a bit too slow, and this time round Vex are going to know they're coming thanks to that Dokkaebi.
5 seconds left before insertion.
So I am liking that they have decided to change up. You know, they've brought in also Zofia, so they've completely dropped the sledge in favor of having those nades, and also Ashe. Quite surprising you're dropping Ashe. You know, she is looking at statistics. Inside of rank, that is. She has the most successful pick and win rate successful operator. That may be why she has no more telescope on her gun, and she can join Bandit and also Smoke and Sledge and also Jaeger in the Hall of Fame. RIP. But hey, there's always good things to look at. Now we can run the G36C.
Let's talk around that, but I think you're still going to see the R4 picked up as the main.
If you play 4-3, typically me and Fraggers do play 4-3. It allows you to have that more closer in sight. Holographic's not an issue. We still see people play holographic.
Holographic's still quite popular. Even at the Invitation, it's played quite a lot.
It's not an issue. It really shouldn't be an issue. Sure, you don't have that CM Ashe thing, but I think it's more so that the R4C with an ACOG had no recoil, which is massive. A gun has an ACOG, no recoil. It makes it already a great gun because you have that automatic advantage with your scope, being able to fight those longer range battles. Quite similar to the way the MP5. That's why another reason I think MP5 has also gotten the nerf. There's reasons behind it. But in the end game, not going to affect it overall.
Still going to see the same style of play coming out, and this time around, Wind and Rain reinstating their dominance with that first opening kill onto the Maverick. One of the big kills we spoke about, and I said to before, bring the double hard breach if you're going to try and play this style of play. Well, Vex was in a nice spot, but the second man walks into the room. He didn't know which one to look at and got himself blasted by both. More of an execution than a kill there, it felt like. But they have got this wall open already, so they've actually got that spot in there, despite already losing off the Maverick. That Hibana's done the work that they need. Now it's a case of getting in there, getting that plant down once again.
And of course, the reason why they did open this up is because they sent Zach below with those Zofia charges, opens up right below Bandit. He can no longer Bandit trick that. This is going to be a really... No, he just... Whoa, that's a bounce spot and a half. What game is this? It's a different FPS. We don't do bounce trick shots, do we?
We do now, apparently. Oh! Bye-bye, Dumpling. Not Tyrant. Definitely sounds like a Tyrant to me, bringing him down there as well. Blackout gets another. Into a horrible 4 versus 2 situation. The Dokkaebi coming out so late, though. Even when there's 2 men left here, they're getting the kills off the back of it, though, mind you. It's done wonders for them. Feral and Pi each taking a kill. Turn this into a 2 versus 2. We are into the dying 40 seconds or so. They're going for a spray there. Tyrant super low. Pi. Well, he's been well cooked in that oven demo. He's a beautiful chicken and mushroom pie coming out there. A pucker pie, you might say in some cases, getting themselves into the spot in a 2 versus 1 for Vex to bring this back into a 3-2 and show that they aren't out of this yet. It will go down. Speed's going to be approaching, and he had a fantastic round last time around. You called him out as being the key player for them in that round. What can he do here to upset the odds and bring this back for his team in this 2 versus 1 situation?
Has to work a lot harder than what he's already doing. The drone will spot him out so they know where he is. All they have to do is hold the angle onto one door. He sees a body run past them. A very deep angle being held by Feral. The Fuse tries to come in, takes a very simple peek from Pi. That'll be all she wrote. The Deagle comes out at 1 versus 1. Still a lot of work to do. Tries to go for the play. Only have 3 shots in the Deagle, and will go back with the counter to Fuse. Will Feral make the same mistake?
Oh!
That'll be all she wrote. And right, I kind of bet myself to yes, I know the game inside and out. I know a lot of things inside this game. That smoke grenade that was tossed by Feral, he got me. I didn't know he could do that. And that is a very, very strong one, because if you guys missed it, that smoke canister bounces off, so automatically you pull the pin, that's the detonation sequence. It bounces off, and it falls straight through the skylight, and it explodes right in the middle between where you can see those two big balconies overlay. So whenever you try and push in towards the single, the guy, typically it would be Echo, holds that angle from the doorway inside of the other bomb site, completely cut off. Amazing. I have to say that. That's great.
That's what you get when you're one of the coaches, one of the best teams in the world, mate.
You learn something new every day inside this game. It's great. There's so many things.
There's always some tweaks or changes or optimizations.
That was great. That was really good.
I've never seen you so like wowed.
I thought it was quality. It really was.
It was. It's an interesting use, and like you say, not something we've normally seen.
I want to see that more, because he kind of cracked the code, because typically that's a very hard area to try and do that. It's great. Because typically you would see, yes, smoke grenades come in, but then you kind of have to expose yourself to toss it, and then you could die from that. Such a safer option, and it works no wonder.
Play the skylights more, boys.
That was great.
Forehead. It was great, and it got them the round win overall, so Vexed can't be complaining too much. And this is probably going as close as you could want from these two teams as well, based on the previous result. 3-2 to MnM Rain. This is the final round of this half. We will see the side swap over. And it did take Vexed a few rounds to really respond. It took them a while to realise what MnM Rain were doing was letting them take the point and then going for the flank before they get a chance to set up defensively for the retake. And as of that, last round was pretty close, admittedly. But Vexed definitely waking up, it feels, in some ways, and starting to bring the fight back to MnM Rain.
Deploying drone.
So we will head to Kitchen. Last time we seen this played, it was a MnM Rain win on their defense. And of course I say, that's completely down to Dumplin, who was holding the hatch, drops, and then 5 seconds later Jaeger comes out of nowhere and cleans up the house. So that's something that they have to work on, is knowing their positions. We've seen that Villa, a very big map. Jackal's not available for either side, so it really does give Roamers that free range to do what they want, which we have seen displayed by MnM Rain, both from Vexed and from Speeds as well. Hopefully Vexed have adapted to this. They have an idea usually where they play. We see Vexed kind of lurking, you know, right downstairs inside the basement, because it's an area that people do not want to waste time. It's a big map. There's a lot of ground to cover, and whenever there is different staircases he can then try and run away and rotate up through, then yes, the right decision is to hold your angles for the defender in that circumstance. But they didn't do that last time, and that's the sole reason why they lost the round.
Who would have thought angles were important in Rainbow Six, demo? Everyone. Also, they should be, unless you ignore them, in which case you get hard punished for it. But let's see if Vexed can bring this up to half and half. Jesus playing, well, watching his backside, you might say.
Never really see that open.
No. It's a weird spot to find a castle playing in, admittedly.
It's a very weird position that we ever see that rarely open. A bit of a once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity. And you can see, Jesus just quick snap, and that puts Harris in the dirt.
Still trading things back out, 4 versus 4. Jesus losing on that Ash as well. Again, one of the big picks for them. Now off the board. I'm still watching. I was going to say Habana's the big one for them because of that heart breach. That's now gone down as well. Looks like MnM Rain might just convert this into a 4-2 half. They've almost managed to bring Pi down as well. There we go. Not Tyrant. Some other trading everything back over as well, though, into a 2 versus 2 situation. But looking at those health bars, currently it's playing on the side of MnM Rain. 45 seconds remaining. Those phones are still going off. Last time this happened, they found 2 kills in quick succession. Haven't quite managed to make it work in the same stroke here. Prowl's got that smoke down on point now. They can start looking towards getting that defuse in. Even got Pi watching from above. He needs to be so wary on the rotate here that he doesn't get picked off on the way through. Into those final 30 seconds, looking towards Vex to not be making the big mistakes that we see teams so often do when it comes to that panicky moment where you're forced to make the plant. But they're coming up against a smoke and Elysian, 2 of the worst ops you could hope to come up against when you're trying to rush onto point and make a big play. There's even a castle reinforcement on that door as well, so the angles in are so limited here. They've got to try and make it work for them. There's the goo mine. Immediately get behind them though. They've done it again. Vex have turned it around and brought down Tyrant now into a 2 versus 1. They've got no health left on them. One's down as well. They've got to turn this back around. Yes, it will work out for them. The defenders win that round. Not quite enough for Vex to be able to get the plant down, but when one man's down and one's got no HP, what do you come to expect?
It just kind of plays into why defenders is so sided for this map. First of all, we've seen that early roam presence come in. Sure, we've seen Castle get picked off very early on, playing that very aggressive, that soft wall that we don't ever really see open. I think it was more of a one-time thing. Hey, if we manage to get a pick, it works. If it doesn't, well, hey, we'll see if we can try and pull it back from there, which thankfully they did. But it just, you can see Legions, smoke canisters, everything that just plays in the way. You know, that Legion mine specifically won them that round. Let's be real here. If that goo mine didn't pick him, he would easily have sprinted in, jumped over the table, and kill that final remaining member. And that's why Legion at the moment is very strong. And, you know, there is a part of me that wonders, yes, Legion very strong, but yet they keep nerfing his gun rather than the actual gadget.
Well, it's been nerfed now, hasn't it? Damage has gone down.
It's went down to, I believe, 4 ticks.
Yes.
But again, that's coming up next patch, not at the moment.
And I feel as well, like, damage being nerfed is a great step with it. Cooldown is probably the big one. Because there are so many of them in so many key choke points. I feel it should play the same way that you'd expect from other defender or gadgets, whereby you can't cover everything as one. You have to spread out where they're going and say, right, we want a castle here, we want a goo mine there, for example. Take your pick and spread them out, rather than being able to literally throw them here, there, and everywhere.
But at the same time, that's why IQ is an operator.
Very true.
Because she is that specific counter. It seems to be that every single patch, IQ never gets buffed. Yet, they bring in operators that then buff her. You know, it's a very interesting strategy that they've went for, is, okay, to buff an operator, we bring out operators that she counters.
It's a very precarious balancing situation. Same with like Mute getting that buff now that Dokubi's in the spot where
indirect, I believe an indirect buff is what we call it.
Exactly, we do. And trust me, I come from a bunch of MOBAs.
Oh, yes.
Indirect buffs are the worst thing when you've got a roster of 100+ characters.
Siege is that game which is a mix of a first-person shooter and a MOBA.
It's unlike any other.
And less, I would say, yes, 75% is about the FPS aspect, but 25 is all about these counter-striking operators. Why you pick these specific operators in these specific situations. You know, we're not talking like about, you know, like a MOBA where they would last like an hour. You have those set 5 champions, gods, whatever you want to call them, whatever game you come from. For Siege, you can pick a new lineup every 3 minutes, which is great adaptation that we talk about so much.
What's most impressive is the fact that it's not just a MOBA and an FPS mix. I think because the fact that there is so much strategy in it, it employs, like you've watched when you're...
tactical as well, that's another thing.
The tactical side of it, you can always tie it back to like an RTS style game as well, where it is mixing so many things together. And it's all those elements come together, you literally do have unlimited possibilities in terms of what you can do. One person holding a different angle completely changes the way a round plays. It's beautiful. And in this case, Tyrant getting picked off is also going to completely change the way that this round plays. As Vexed currently have the numbers advantage on their first attack. I've only just noticed as well, Feral is bringing that Caveira as well. Can he get an interrogation? There's no Doki here to be interrogated, sadly. Which seems to be the running meme in the UK scene for the most part. I'm sure we're looking for something at the very least as well. Also getting a nerf in that patch when it comes out. Gun damage going down.
So already you can see the difference in Wind and Rain. They're bringing the Thermite. They want to open up these walls. Zach, another kill for him on the speeds. And this is where we start to worry for Wind and Rain, because if they're starting to get torn apart very swiftly and very precise from Vexed, that's only the first bombs that they have. You still have the kitchen to go through, which is again another Roman paradise map where you can try and play up top as aggressive as you can. A team like Penta Sports for Villa, their kitchen hold upstairs, very deadly. They have great roamers on their side, and they work really well in congestion with each other. So there is certainly things that Wind and Rain should start to worry about. At least they're getting off a good start where they are already knowing, okay, Thermite is a must-need. We've seen Vex try and play that without the Thermite. It did come to cost them, I believe, 2 rounds. It's a bit of a worry in that circumstance. But for Vexed, they have a little bit more fun. They have more operators to play with. You can see Vigil, which is an operator that was not chosen by Wind and Rain. They really preferred their castle strategies, which did help sometimes, but for the most part didn't really affect Vex too heavily. But that Vigil, so deadly in so many ways, and in a map which is a maze. You know, you look at all the rooms, they're very narrow, very tight-knit together. You don't know what room he could be in.
That's part of the beauty of Villa, though, I think, is that there are literally so many rooms you can play around and so many corners you have to be concerned about when you come charging around. End of that last round there, for example, when we saw the IQ playing outside, Harris just kind of lurking around as well. He peeled away thinking, oh, I can't really win a direct gunfight here. Came back to peek, and Dumpling had actually moved towards him to push outside. Just showing that with Vex, it's not a case of them saying, well, we're going to sit here in old angles. We're willing to push and extend our hold further than it is at round start, enough to chase you down and make sure we close these rounds out. That was a very dominant defensive round. Question is now, can they keep on converting these into wins? It was 4-2 at the half. They've got to try and win this round 5-1 if they want to clinch the map away, or we find ourselves heading in towards a draw.
Yeah, again, it's always possible. This is a map where we could see the draw. Typically, you're expecting, if Wind and Rain take it 4-2, you said Vex could maybe win it 4-2 as well, and then we do end up with that draw because it is such a defender-sided map. But the difference is, whoever has that slight edge inside of that second half, and at this moment and point, it has to be Wind and Rain to at least get these 2 rounds on the board to get a draw. 2 rounds on the board doesn't sound like a hard thing to do, but it's Villa, which is a defender side at favourite map.
Yes. All about those strats. And it felt at the very start of this map, the Wind and Rain had that sort of nailed down with the flanks they're pulling off. Whoa, Tyrant almost getting gunned down. Again, not one of those that you want to go down. They've also brought themselves 2 hard breaches, although they've changed it round. Haven't brought the Hibana, have actually opted instead to look towards bringing that Thermite. Now, much bigger risk, of course, when you're playing into a team like this. Might find yourself getting impact tricked off by the Legion if it comes down to it. Depends exactly where we see the Legion choosing to play, because for the most part, as we've seen all day long, Legion's been playing off by themselves, catching people out with those goo mines, and just basically causing an absolute nuisance to themselves.
Feral trying to go for a quick run out, has that accessibility with those Valkyrie cameras, however the first blood will go in favour of Wind and Rain, as that will be Zach gone. That's the big Vigil eliminated, but still, Tyrant has took a lot of damage from that, and you still have, you know, the Vigil still can provide intel with those Valkyrie cameras, kind of as that dead man who can rotate the cameras and be the Echo drone. So sure, he's dead, but still not useless in this scenario. Speeds will find Jesus, so that is going to be the Echo gone. So those Echo Sonic bursts are no longer going to be in play, which is a big dampener, especially on a map like Villa, where you want to try and deny the plant away from the attackers. Dumpling wins that gunfight against Sophia. Great shot from him, but has treated quite a lot of his life away from it. We do see the Maverick go down, but we'll try and get picked up. That's good from Blackout as well. It gets them back on track, 2 versus 3, as Tyrant will get picked back up.
My biggest worry here is the Wind and Rain. They're doing the same thing that Vexed did, which is funneling everyone into, again, in the same room, through the same doorway, and trying to go for the same push, which can work out fine. But if you walk into the wrong angle that someone is holding and find yourself losing 2 or 3 members, you're in so much trouble. And admittedly not, Tyrant went for that angle, lost the head trade-off against Dumpling, now into a 2 versus 2 between them. Dumpling down to, well, almost nothing here when it comes to actual HP. In a very tough spot, but they find themselves with the 1 kill as well. Can they get the second? Pie with a huge spray down. Finds himself onto that double kill, pulls it back for Vexed. And we are going 4-4, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into round 9.
Well, a massive round for Vexed, a one which, looking at it, they really shouldn't won. I'm gonna call out Tyrant. In that scenario, you don't need to start over-peaking. All you need to do is try and secure that plant. All 3 of them are stacked up outside a triple wall. I would have liked to see one of them rotate. If one of them had rotated up towards the roof, dropped down and came in through that 90 corridor, you could have had a free kill on towards Legion, who was that big lich pin that really shut you down inside of that match. If that was the case, it probably would have went inside of Wind and Rain's favour. So little things that you have to really look at. You still have a bit of time. It doesn't take that long for Maverick, who's a free speed, to rotate. You know, he's very quick, very aggressive. So there is things that Wind and Rain have to look at and certainly do better. But in hindsight, still 4-4. There's time for Wind and Rain to bring it back. But really looking at it, we could be staring down the barrel of a draw potentially. Away keeps going back and forth.
Which would probably do justice for what we expect of this game. And that does make future weeks very interesting. The final 2 weeks coming into it as well. Again, these 2...
scary.
Yeah.
Very scary.
It puts them in a spot, essentially, where you've got one team sat 1 point ahead of Unnamed. The other team drawed on 4 points with Unnamed, and they'll all be scrapping to go for that final spot. It will make for a really interesting end to Group B. Well, first and foremost, let's have to, of course, see how this actual map ends. Otherwise, that might not even be a possibility. One of them might just catapult themselves ahead and find themselves in the driving seat when it comes into Week 5 next week. My biggest concern here is the Wind and Rain keep on repeating the same mistake we just saw, which is sending 3, 4, 5 members all through the same choke point, just like Vexed in their opening 2 rounds, and you just keep on getting punished for it. Vexed aren't even trying to play it in a sense of where they're trying to go for a flank behind them like Wind and Rain were. Their whole stance is let's just hold an angle. Let them go for the peaks they don't need to take, and we just win off the back of that one. Both sides really capitalizing on the other's mistakes.
So Vexed, they will be having a kitchen defense for themselves. This will be their first time. I think they're going to try and play for the vertical control. Typically, we do see the attackers try and push in through Laundry like we've seen Vex on their attacks, but then we've talked about that main Laundry hatch, which is that big thing that you really need to protect as an attacker, but equally as a defender, you want to try and control it. So it is a very contested choke point that both teams are trying to fight over, but they have used a lot of utility to open up these certain positions. Also, equally, we have seen castle barricades being deployed by Zach, and they've tried to delay as much time as they can. But Wind and Rain, they're going to try and go for a room clear out. First nade gets tossed out, and you can see that impact nade also being made, so it makes Vex worry about a potential 50-50. Pi does get tagged up, and Feral just gets in through bedroom and finds Vex. Harris, however, has a refrag. But still, you know that they're roaming in towards statue area. You know that main bedroom's going to be a position they want. And you just completely give up your flank protection. Feral, you're right beside him. You don't see him. Yes, you do. Oh my, I'm getting flashbacks to what like week 2 was.
What is this? Guys, this is not even organised play anymore. May as well have gone to multiplayer, press ranks, gone for Q, and jumped into a game that way, because twice now, essentially. Well, the first time round, it was Zach not being covered from behind. How on earth, one, the rest of his team let him get that far forward without cover? He'll be in team chat straight away going, team, question mark, time and time again. And Feral even there, not checking the corners properly as well. So far feeling a little bit scattered between both sides, although it is Vexed who is still ahead when it comes to numbers. In a 3 versus 2, and still in possession of the point here as well, choosing to play on it rather than off it, which is what MnM Rain did when they were defending this point earlier on today.
Just a little prick.
So you still have a bit of room presence. You have Pi up top, and Jesus holding down the fort, has those echo drones, can potentially use that to scout out the positions of these last remaining attackers. And then Dumpling as well, located here at Bicycle Storage, being that also that second layer of protection for Jesus, because again, those echo drones will win you that round if it comes down to that plant being planted or stopped by the Sonic Burst. You have 30 seconds on the clock. You have found one on to echo a big kill as well. Pi will drop down to try and retain control of the bomb site. Diffuser will get planted right at laundry door. Harris will hold the angle in towards the B and will find it. Dumpling eliminates Blackout. A 1 versus 1. Dumpling, can he pick up the pieces where he could not the last 1v1 inside of Kitchen? And he will get it. Dumpling, quick cleanup, eliminates Harris. And Vexed, for the first time, take the lead.
There are many times in Siege, I think, where you detest your teammates for mashing on that detect enemies button X, time and time again. When you're in a 1 versus 1 at the very end of a round like that, even at this level of play, it's a lot quicker to just mark where they are as a team rather than actually call it out as well. So good work from the rest of his team there as well, not just idling around saying, come on mate, you can do it, actually contributing towards that victory. 5-4 to Vex. They've turned it round from a 4-2, won 3 rounds on the bounce. But MnM Rain were in a great spot as well, where they won 3 of the first 4 rounds. If they can pull this round back, it's anyone's game.
This is exactly the same character that we've seen MnM Rain perform. They also took their first 3 bomb sites. They completed the full rotation. And Vex have just did the same. So what either happens here is Vexed have the momentum, they steamroll and win 7-4, or else MnM Rain pull this back just like Vex did and at least get those 2 rounds on the board, which is needed for at least a draw.
That's what we'll be looking towards. If it goes to 5-5, then it does make it a very likely draw, I think, in that case. Given how it ended last time around, 4-2, 4-2 in either half, pretty much expected. The big question, and where we saw it work out in the favour of Vex last time, was they adapted towards the latter half of their attacking half. MnM Rain, and again, it's probably your favourite word of today, I think, is adaptation. Yep. Adapting on the fly, changing things as and when you need to, and fixing previous mistakes.
Yeah, like we said, this is a match where no strategies will be involved. Sure, maybe quick pocket strategies, but really no thought being put in towards them. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it.
It's been like cavemen just being like, bomb that way, smash wall now, go for it, and then get flanked.
Yeah,
it's always been the way. It's so lucky style play. It's beautiful to watch in some ways, and some ways you're just going to go, guys, come on.
I can't believe this guy just insulted 2 teams from the ESL Premiership, calling them cavemen.
When I'm sat here in like gold 2, yeah, I can't really say much about that, can I?
Unbelievable.
But I think anybody here watching
you would
this...
say that about Dumpling? Sure, alright, he's Scottish, I'll give you that one, but...
What kind of insult's that? Is that racism coming out of your mouth right now, Demo?
What part of racism does that exist in that?
You're talking about Scottish people being like, well, he is Scottish. I'm like, what's that excuse got to do with anything?
I don't.
Disgusting.
I don't understand.
Absolutely disgusting.
This
grenade could be disgusting.
Oh,
get peeked in front of the face, man! Dumpling finds him. There you go. Just we were talking rubbish about him. He pops up and goes big. Already down into a 5 versus 4 for Vex, and only 45 seconds into that round. This is quite similar to what we've seen already in a lot of ways, was when it comes down to the opening kills coming through. Last time round, it was kind of very backwards and forwards. Zach, for example, getting ran in from behind by Feral. This time around, it was Dumpling popping up far closer than he ever expected and getting that easy kill trade across. All I'm saying is, thank God it wasn't one of the hard breaches, because they still need them to be doing their job.
You're not expecting Blackout to really start aggressing hard, and you're not expecting Maverick even to do that hard breach work.
Entry frag of Thermite, that's all I'm saying.
And this is why you're gold too. So, looking at Maverick, I'm expecting him to try and work his way in towards that vault area. That would be the more ideal position. But that's not going to happen as Feral gets the better of Tyrant. So this does set up Vex for yet another Vex defense. They are looking to take 4 defenses on the trot. Speed still has that SMG-12, which can rip in through quite a lot of people, and also the wall has been opened. But this is where it comes down to the real critical aspect that Wind and Rain need to delay. We've seen that, looking for example, Team Secret, they were in, deficits. They pulled it back and win rounds from that. You still have one more logic bomb as well from Speed. He's going to have to call that in if he wants to try and make the push along with Blackout, who is still getting tagged up even more. So that's 2 impact nades being used by Pi. 50 seconds on the clock. Speeds does eliminate Zach, but Blackout still so low HP, and Speeds as well.
Into the spot now where that push is starting to come. Someone's been down injured as well. It's going to be the Dokkaebi, and even the Thermite's down stupidly low as well. 3 versus 2 for Vexed. God, where have I said that today so many times over already? Let's see though if Wind and Rain can clutch it out. We've seen quite a few come through already today. Already into a 1 versus 3. It's not quite to be the case. And Harris has a little jump for joy at the end there as he is eliminated. Pi getting that final kill. Vexed have brought us to 5-5 demo. We're into those potential 2 final rounds here where this could end as a draw, which I think will probably do justice for how this map has played out.
I don't think this is going to go to a draw. I think Vexed want all of these points. It's up to Wind and Rain if they want to have that. Even if Wind and Rain have this next round, they still won't have to go and get the next one.
I don't know why I thought it was 5-4.
It's not 5-4.
I thought it was 5-4 to Wind and Rain, so we've just gone to 5-5. I was like, oh, it's a draw time. No, it was the other way around. Vexed in the lead, sorry. What can you say when you've rolled literally 4 rounds in a row? It's got to be a miracle playing up for Wind and Rain to pull these next 2 back is the correct thing to say in this instance. They have yet to actually stop Vexed, and that's what worries me. If they'd done it maybe in the second round, they showed they've got the capability to do it, but so far, there has been nothing to suggest they can slow down the aggression coming out of Vexed. And it's always come down to those final few kills in the die moments of a round where Vexed have really popped off.
To locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So we move into yet again another statuary defense. If I'm not mistaken, this has been the most picked bomb site that we've seen tonight.
4 times, I think?
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th time it's being played. Wow. And we've seen Kitchen, I believe, 3 times, and then Games also at 3 times as well. So certainly Statuary standing strong amongst the other ones. We haven't seen any Library, which no surprise really. But certainly for Statuary, I think it fits in more of the standard way that we play Siege, which is clear out a room, open up the wall, and try and go for a plant, which is kind of the whole strats for Siege kind of revolve around. You, for example, Clubhouse, that's a map which kind of fits that same aspect. But for this particular bomb site, we've seen a lot more roaming potential be available. C4s from below. Remember, destructibility factor is up the wazoo in this map.
Up the wazoo. I love that saying. It's very true. This time round, they've gone for exactly the same sort of setup as what we've seen before. I think both teams, when it's sort on this point, have always pushed in from this east side balcony, got inside the bedroom, and gone for a push there onto that big wall. The problem now is it's been bandited up. They've got to send someone downstairs to get rid of those bandits before then go for the breach using the thermite. And this has been the problem, I think, where teams have failed to do that. They've just been stalled outside this wall. Admittedly, that was more of a problem on the other side when it came round to it. So hopefully, for Wind and Rain, they can not repeat the same mistakes that we saw Vexed make, but just go straight for it. And speaking of Bandit, well, there'll be no tricks coming through because he's already down.
Yeah, this is what we expected. This is what we talked about, is simply going below. You get rid of the Bandit trying to play there. Very common strategy. Of course, you also need support, which is Harris is providing, because whenever you know someone's below trying to get rid of the Bandit, roamers are going to be automatically alerted to your presence, and they will try and eliminate you from killing their bandit. Vexed as well, playing aggressive inside of the bathroom, has those Sophia charges, and actually a very good operator for actually pushing that room, because typically you see a defender playing in behind that desk or either in towards the rotation hole, so having those Sophia charges makes that little walk-in a little bit more easy.
And that's exactly what they managed to do in a minute and a half, which is roughly what we saw work out when it was the other side's chance to have a go at this one. When Vexed managed to do it, it did take them a bit longer. And in most cases, only managed to get a few holes in, whereas this time around, the Thermite's got up there, got it open, does die a few seconds after, but his work is done. That hole is open, they can make the play happen. There was a couple of injuries down there as well. 4 versus 2, though, like you said, I think Vexed are about to clutch this one out as well. There's another kill coming back across from Vexed. Don't get those two confused. 3 versus 2 on the other side. Looking towards that Zofia, though, with the diffuser so low here as well. 1 bullet's all it's going to take to slow him down. And once again, a team is pinned here inside Master Bedroom. Not sure where to peek, not sure where to push. You're looking towards maybe not Torrent here as well to do some big work on the Ash. Been a quiet round so far, getting rid more of the utility downstairs, but outside of that, nothing much. You can see him, I was about to say, how long did it take you to get that spray? Finds the second as well. Is he about to clutch it back in for Wind and Rain now? One man left standing. Gotta be able to deal with Dumpling. Playing on the Jaeger, finds one. It's into a 1 versus 1. Can Wind and Rain keep the dream alive, or do Vex take it home here as well? They're playing round the corner. This feels so reminiscent to last time round. The ADS is the big saving play here as well. Who gets the kill? He was round the corner. Tyrant crutches it out as well, and Vexed not quite able to finish it off right now. Wind and Rain get a second lifeline and get to go for this one again.
Well, we take it to our final round off our Villa. What a match we could have picked for our match to watch. It certainly is heating up here as we head into our last round of Villa. This will either end as Vex walking away with all 3 points, or Wind and Rain salvaging a draw from a very formidable lead that they had going into this. Looking at the kills, Pi and Feral both on 11, Dumpling standing strong with 12, the highest kills we've had in this match. But hey, you have to give credit to Tyrant. He's really boosted his KD there with a massive triple kill, pulled out of nowhere. I was getting worried whenever he didn't see the guy inside a globe room. I was like, hello?
You seen this shape, this person shape? You see this all the time when you play Siege? Shoot?
I question it.
You know why he didn't identify it? Wasn't playing with the new skins. He was like, all I know to look for now...
The Wind Bastion skins.
Yep, all I know to look for right now is white and orange camo. That's about all I know to look for. He's like, that doesn't look normal. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Oh, it's a person. Bang, dead. End of story. But now he's got to do it all over again because it's still match point. For both sides, you'd argue. If this goes to Wind and Rain, it's a draw. If Vex win, well, they managed to find themselves in a spot where they've undo the damage from the last time these two teams met, and they propel themselves into second in the group. There's a lot riding on this one game, because ultimately that will have a huge influence going into the final 2 weeks, where you probably expect both teams, or maybe not both, maybe you expect one to beat them, to lose to Epsilon potentially, and then arguably against Unnamed, that's kind of an unknown game there. You're not quite sure which way it's going to go between either side.
So this will be our 6th time seeing this bomb site. So for all the bomb sites we've seen being played, this has been 50% of that. So that does stand out quite a bit, like we've talked about. And then the other 50%, 25 of it being inside a kitchen, and also 25 of it being over towards games room. What are Vex going to do differently? I don't really know what they could do differently. I just think it was immense gun skill from Tyrant that really saved them that round.
I love how you basically answered your own question there. You're just like, wonder what Vex are going to do differently? Well, what they are going to do differently is X.
Rhetorical question.
Yeah, mate, I'm totally fine with it. You carry on.
It's very hard for you as a team who's just lost a very easily, round win that would have seen you all 3 points, and then this guy just whips out a free K out of nowhere, which theoretically you have to give credit to him, his own gun skill. I've talked about Tyrant. Certainly a gunner, you have to watch him. They didn't watch him that time, he just kind of walked on in the bomb site. And that's what I think that really they've adapted to. I said the last time they defended Statuary, where Vex did win.
Oh no!
Double kill, but going back to what I was mentioning, they rotated someone to another side of the map, and he got 2 kills from it, because they weren't suspecting that. They finally rotated. Whenever they did, they had numbers advantage in that scenario. Actually, I don't think they had numbers scenario. I think it was a 3 versus 3, but still, that play was enough. Pi still getting pelted by the bullets, and really from this scenario, no. I think that double kills won them the round, because that's Fermi.
Quite possibly. No hard breach remaining makes this a real tough point to assault, as we have seen all night long so far. Well, not all night, all map long so far. It's going to make things tough. And the best thing was, even just the Legion dying there, still ran the clock down to 1.5 minutes. He's done more than enough in this round. He's ran the clock down 90 seconds. He's got 2 kills. That's everything you could ask for a Roma outside of wiping out the entire enemy team.
Oh, that's a hard shot for him. Like, that's... Yeah, Harris not having the best of ways in that scenario. Zach has also took up the position of his fallen teammate, and it's just collapsed into seams. Vex does refrag, but again, Tyrant's going to have to pull out what he did last time. Jesus will eliminate Vex, and Tyrant has to go for the 1 versus 3 clutch.
Where have we seen this before already, Demo? Already back into a 2 versus 1. Now it's a case of can he doki happen? Almost has 1, but doesn't get the spray down. Immediately threatened, but gets the down. This is technically now still into a 1 versus 1. Valkyrie versus Ash, but Feral's going to find that kill. Anyway, defenders win the round, and Vexed will clutch that map in the last dying seconds. They'll take it away and get their revenge onto the other side.
Well, that was cutting it close down to the wire. Yeah, that was an unfortunate round for Wind and Rain in general. but that's because they didn't drone. This is, you know, I think they've drone very well this entire time. I don't think that the Roamers had the same presence as what we've seen other times from Vexed. Wind and Rain were very good at shutting down them early. The one time they don't do it, Pi comes away for 2k, and one of them is your Thermite.
That's it, and the big thing for me at the start of that round was the round before we saw 5 men all running out from the east side towards the same area, so they had the support with them there to actually get the drones in. They brought 3 from there. You all want to get inside the building and start pushing. One went north, one went south, one went middle. There's no one there to really be doing the droning work for you. And like you say, well, Pi was in a great spot to just go, well, this is super easy. Bam, bam. Suddenly you're pretty much guaranteed to win the round unless anything goes massively wrong. And, well, good for Vex. Nothing did go wrong and they clinched the round out. Yeah, how great was Vex's defensive side on that map? I think they dropped 1 round that entire time.
They took 4 on the bounce, which is better than what Wind and Rain did, where they only took 3.
It was really good. Like, for a long time, we did say when we came to that 4th round, we were like, well, this is the time where we saw it change around on the other side, where they did drop a round, so maybe we see it happen here. They kept going, and I was like, oh boy, this is a scary territory to be in now if you're playing on the side of Wind and Rain. It was unfortunate because that last round, if they hadn't made that crucial error at the start where Pi got the double, that could have gone either way. It would have been a belt of a round, but Pi did all the work they needed.
Yeah, Pi does seem to be a player. It's not the first time he's clutched up and done some fantastic plays before. Again, there's a complete repeat, and I don't think it surprises you too much either, Demo.
No, I'm not really surprised. I think that the Vex roster, I think the consistency's starting to build up quite a bit. Their first week was certainly a big testing point to see how they would skate the ice. It was very thin ice for a long time, but you know, they've started to balance them out quite well, and that's a big win for them, especially as a team who wants to get to that LAN. And again, I don't think anybody from that group doesn't want to go to LAN. Who knows? And FlyLo, I think they're expecting to just fight for the relegation battle. I don't think at this stage in their group, looking at it, they were expecting to get a LAN spot. Hey, it could happen in playoffs. It's a big if, especially whenever they have to go against second place. At this stage, it could either be Vexed or Epsilon. Both those teams are extreme. But just a bit of a prediction, Vexed versus Epsilon next week, I think we'll decide who gets first place.
I think that's a pretty solid spot to put it into. And again, both of these teams have got the other 2 teams to play against in the next couple of weeks, which is going to make things really interesting when it comes down to it.
There's 2 weeks left, 2 weeks.
That's it, yeah. And they've both got to play against the other 2 teams in the group. They've played against each other now, and their remaining fixtures they've got are literally mirror matches. So it's going to come down to, I think, a bit of consistency again. This was a close match when you look at it either way. If they didn't have that clutch in the previous round, okay, maybe you'd argue for Vex it was a bit more of a dominating performance. But Wind and Rain, I don't think they can look at this and go, you know, we actually feel like we're going to lose out in those next 2 games now. We aren't good enough. They won the first time round. It's going to be a really close affair either way, which is just what you want from a game of Siege in a group like this.
Yeah, I think with Epsilon now, they've got a little bit of pressure off their shoulders now, considering the circumstances they're in, especially round difference and all that bits and pieces. But it's still going to be quite tough. I reckon that at least a draw or win in one of these next games, the next 2 weeks, you know, they've pretty much secured at least a playoff. And then by then the last week, we'll know finally if they're going to go straight to offline final or if it's going to be another team due to maybe some upsets or any of those kind of situations. But if you do want to vote for the MVP for that match, make sure you head over to Twitter to @ESLUK and let us know who you think should be the top on that poll. And there was a few players to mention, like, you know, Pi made some of those great plays as well, and not timing with that 3K as well on that second to last rounds, like, beautiful.
I think there's at least 5 people you could pick to really be that MVP. There's a lot of people there who are really showing up, and in a map which went the distance in all 12 rounds, you were expecting both teams to really put it all on the board.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, to be fair, again, coming into next week against someone like Epsilon, you've got to have the same players popping off again, and then again, some more players stepping up as well and really showing what they're made of.
Especially, like, we didn't get to see Epsilon tonight, but I think the whole Epsilon team reminds me of how Vex played last season, which was very loose, very monkey-esque. I think that's the kind of phrase we like to use for teams that don't really run these strategies.
Monkey-esque.
That's what Leon is.
Oh,
didn't know.
I don't think I'll remember that phrase.
I can't say it's what I want to carry into my everyday life. I won't lie to you.
It's a viable strategy, and it has been working out very well for Epsilon, and they really are a hard book to read.
I'll try and remember, but I'm not going to lie.
You need to play solo queue later on. We'll go monkey-esque, all right?
Yeah,
you're going to play solo queue
yeah.
Even though you guys are going to be teaming together, not solo queue.
Yes, solo queue, mate. You call it solo queue, it's not like it's not full competitive stack. Call it duo then. Don't you take your glasses off at me like that.
We'll just agree. We'll just go, oh, okay, he's getting a bit big now about his glasses. But we're going to go straight to the interview now with Jesus to ask him what he thinks about the game and just general outside. So, hello, Jesus. How's things?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. We're just talking about that last match. And one of the first questions I do want to ask is, Your defensive side on Villa, how was it so good? Talk to me a bit about it.
I mean, we were confident in our positions, even though we just talked about it before and we went in. But everyone did what they wanted to do. We wanted to have a lot of roamers, a lot of guys doing what they wanted to do, while still having our core operators on site, me, for example, on Echo. So we're going to hold site as much as we could with the drones and have the intel, and then get the help from outside as much as we could. And once they got the breach, we all went in towards site.
And how do you feel getting your revenge back on MnM? Because it wasn't really the best start for you guys in that week 1, but now week 4 coming in, you managed to get that match back and a win back, you could say. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a little bit rough in the beginning, losing the first match, but we knew that it wasn't because we were playing really bad back then. It was we knew we could do it further on. So we were really confident going into this match, taking them on this map that I don't believe any other team has played yet in the Prem, that I've seen at least. So we were confident playing a new map, and we knew before we banned that we were going to get this map, most likely. So we were ready for this map. We talked about it a lot before.
Oh, that's the main thing. As you were very prepared for that map, because you said before, you know, first week it wasn't really like your confidence or anything like that, but you still have so much confidence even from bottom of the group. But now you've got a little bit more pressure off your shoulders. How do you feel now going into the next 2 weeks?
Oh, we feel great. We've played together now a couple of games, so we know how it's done. The thing is, we haven't played together and scrimming and stuff, because we actually don't really scrim. We just play together on these days. So this is the 4th time we have most of the guys in our team have played with Dumpling.
Oh, okay.
So this is the 4th game I have ever played with Dumpling. I have not played a single casual, ranked, or scrim with Dumpling before. This is the 4th one. These 4 matches have been the only games with him. So we've been able to communicate together as friends, as a team, even though we haven't really trained together. So we basically came up with the strats, and we were confident in each other. And that's why we basically have won so far.
That's great considering you haven't actually played too much with him, and it's good for the future as well, because you still got a couple more weeks. Are we going to see further improvement, you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot before the games, but not really long before, only right before, so we know exactly what we're going to do right before the game, so we can adapt easily and change our minds and talk together. So it's a lot about communication and trusting each other, mostly.
Well, it seems to be working so far, but that's all for now. But thanks very much, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Yeah, not too bad. I was going to ask him about his defensive side, and it seems like they were a lot more prepared. They wanted this map, and you were saying it before, even before that match started, that map choice was so vital, and it showed in that game.
Yeah, I think that Villa was a map which, like Jesus said, no one played. It's very territorial, and how the roamers gather together, which again he explained as well. So yeah, I can just only reiterate what he said. And also another big thing about that they don't scrim, which is what we knew anyway. That's just a team that turn up and play Prem. The more they start teaming, the better they will play, and it's already shown. You look at the difference between week 1 and week 4.
Yeah.
Quite a milestone.
Yeah, quite a big difference.
Maybe Dumpling needs to go do up and solo queue a little bit then, yeah? Same style? Right then, mate, it's fine. Nah, I think he was pretty... I find it really interesting that a lot of teams don't scrim.
Yeah.
Like that... I don't know, it's almost like if you had a bit of prep work for a lot of teams as well, you'd probably find they get that small advantage that they're looking for. But for the most part, for a lot of them, they're like, well, we've got the gun skill, we'll just turn up and roll strats we've played elsewhere. And it works wonders.
In other esports, pretty much.
But you look at it this way as well. Exactly. Honestly, that's why it's melting my mind so much. I'm just like, what? But either way you look at it, it was a really close game today as well. Jesus himself said, you know, we're glad that we got this win as well. Now it's a matter of building it up from there as well.
I just really look forward to the fact they've only played with each other 4 times with some of their teammates. And, you know, if everything's good now, imagine the next few weeks. I honestly look forward to it and to see if they make the offline final straight away or those playoffs. But we do have today's results to show exactly what happened if you did miss any of the matches. And as you can see there, MnM Gaming, nice little comfortable win there for them against FlyLo, 7-1. Team Secret again, pretty much same as the week 1, beating Who Knows 7-2. And match to watch, the favourite of this week, we saw Vexed just about managed to take down, win the rain with a great defensive half from then, closing it out 7-5. And our last match, it was a default win for Epsilon. So before we end things, close stuff out, how do you feel the matches went today? It's a bit more predictable. I think we can say the first 2, yeah, expected, no least. But the third one was definitely one not to expect.
And I know that everybody didn't, you know, it's been a forfeit victory for Epsilon against Unnamed. I'm going to put it out there, I think Epsilon would have beat Unnamed, especially in the state they are, and Epsilon have really took Group B by the reins of things and are looking to ride away with their first place.
They are, and to be honest with you, looking back at the first 2 matches again, like we mentioned a couple of times already, They were far closer than I think that score gives away. Like 7-1 and 7-2 doesn't show off the skill that we saw on those two teams. It's very easy to write them off when you see they only won a couple of rounds, but to me I think there are a number of players that impressed on both teams today. And although this season might not be the one for them, next season very may well turn into be the one.
That's definitely right now. The last 2 weeks is going to be very close to say the least. And as you can see there, Team Secret quite far ahead now with 12 points. MnM Gaming not too far behind with 9 points. FlyLo with 3. And who knows, still looking for that first win or draw on the board. And going over to Group B now. Things are slightly more different now compared to before. Epsilon Esports with that 9 points, but a huge amount of round difference now, plus 15. Vexed neutralized so far. At least they're getting much closer now to hold that top 2 spot. MnM Rain and Unnamed are both very similar positions. So what do you guys think of these group standings so
This is
far?
the one.
Yeah, like I said, I still think that Epsilon versus Vex next week will decide that. Especially if Vex can ramp up a 7-2, a 7-3, cuts down that round difference even more. But then at the same time, then Vex really need to hope that MnM Rain come big for them on week 6.
This is the big one though, because all you need here is one team to go 2-0 and one to go 1-1, and they guarantee themselves a spot. There's a world here where MnM Rain win both games and surprise Epsilon. Vex lose to Epsilon, and it's actually seen MnM Rain are the ones who go into that second position. That's just how close it is now. There's 2 points between them, and probably the most interesting setup you could ask for as the end in 2 weeks come by.
Because you have to remember, whoever gets that 3rd place inside of Group B faces either MnM or Secret. You don't want that.
Scary. No,
you don't want that.
It is.
Whoever wants to come 3rd, they don't want to come 3rd. They want to come 2nd
You
more
want
than
first or
anything else.
second. That is what you want.
But we do have the top plays for this week, and if you do want to vote across, it will be on @ESL UK, and they will get released on Thursday. So make sure to check out and get your votes in. And some really good plays this week. You know, we've seen quite a few in the first couple of weeks, but this one was definitely, you know, you can't really complain in all fairness. And we do have the Community Cup, so if any teams do want to compete, do go over on esl.im/R6SUK. Make sure to get involved, try and win some prizes and get some points on the board over there. I know I want to, and Demo's not going to either because he's not allowed.
I'm not good enough, so we'll say nothing more about
that.
Yeah,
I was going to say that, but I thought, I won't say that about myself. I won't say it about you either.
It's been a real belter of a week, to be honest, though, as well. And like you say, last week was really big for the kills and the top plays that we had, but the number of, like...
He does.
I swear we've already had this. He does.
But we've had it already, but we need to highlight it, don't we? He does look a little bit like Austin Powers.
Like I say, Austin Powers, Kingsman, Child, love Child, you might say.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with looking at Austin Powers.
We love you, even if you look like that. It's okay. we love you. It's fine.
See, when he's got no words and he's quite quiet, sometimes it can be a good thing.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
You're cleaning this up because I'm not.
It's all right, mate. Harry loves us that much, he'll do it for us. Cheers, mate. Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah, well, I might do, but I'll just get you to do it anyway. But that's it for now. But thanks for you guys being on the desk and for helping out and casting all the matches. It's been a fantastic week, plays, anything else nonetheless. And I'll say thank you to all our sponsors, powered by Intel, and of course, Pay Safeguard. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. But don't forget, tickets are available at Friday at 9 AM for esl.im/R6S finals. For that Manchester LAN finals, make sure you get your tickets as soon as possible before they get sold out. Thanks for everyone for watching and tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Attackers are activating spawn. Go. Bomb located by attackers. Attackers bomb the user has been dropped.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Eliminates the farmer, and the distance is shot. Oh, there we go. Finally stays. Once again, that man on the smoke. Pretty quick Stiz gets one. Can he be finished off? Yes, he can. And Team Secret will be your ESL Rainbow Six Premiership champions.